right, welcome in, welcome in. Dan, another week, another dilemma.
Oh yeah.
What can you
So
do?
wait, who do we actually put on the thumbnail for this one?
It's Cam Skattebo, of course.
Skattebo. Okay, the Skattebo.
There is a real dilemma with Cam Skattebo. There is 100%. I'll propose it to you right here. Um, what I see it as is, well, Cam Skattebo looked awesome. He's a player that I liked. A lot of people liked, or maybe people liked and hated, or were hot or cold on him. But and actually, he did it on prime time against the Chiefs, by the way, which I feel like is like ultra. That's the best way to do it when you're gonna.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
and that celebration. I don't know if you saw the backflip, and it was the most Cam Skattebo celebration ever.
No, I actually didn't see that, and I'm mad because
Uh,
obviously, like we both have liked Cam Skattebo this offseason. And also, I can't remember, was it Sunday morning that someone asked us which players start between Hampton and Skattebo? You said Hampton, and I said Skattebo, even despite the tough matchup. So yeah, I guess either way,
they
like
both were good.
they're both good. So I guess either way you went,
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously, like Hampton was highly drafted in the NFL draft and dynasty drafts and everything like that. Skattebo was a little bit more of a sleeper. And yeah, I was encouraged by like the week before, and even despite the tough matchup against the Chiefs, like I was feeling good about him. So nice to see that pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. And important to note, both, like honestly, probably both of them wouldn't have been that great of a play at all. But both had their other, guy in the backfield just so happened to get hurt. Najee
Yeah,
out for the year. Tracy out week to week. It sounds like at least a few weeks, maybe at least three or something around there.
2 to 4.
Three, yeah, there you go. So 2 to 4. But anyways, oh yeah, I was gonna say that you gotta see that celebration. He did like
Yeah.
three celebrations in one. He was like doing a backflip, surfing, and it was hilarious.
Love it.
Exactly what you would expect to see out of him. Maybe that like adds to his value is just the fact that he has
Oh my
awesome
God. Well, I
celebration.
mean, haven't I been saying this all off season? Is that one of my favorite things about Skattebo is that he's just such a likable player.
Mhm.
Like people just love Skattebo for for whatever reason. So I think he's one of those guys where if we see anything from, like the whole market's just going to jump on him and love him, and he's going to have huge trade value. And so I haven't seen any Skattebo trades going down in any of my leagues yet, but I will be interested to see when one does,
Yeah.
because I have a feeling he'll be going for a lot.
Yeah, we'll jump into that in a moment. I'll propose the rest of the dilemma here. Well, so he does all that good stuff on prime time. Tracy goes down, but it's not like Hampton's situation where it's out for the year. Nope, it's 2 to 4 weeks. Now he has a good chance to assert himself and win the hearts of all the fans and the
And he's
coaches.
he's already won Randy's heart. Randy
Yeah,
is in the chat here. He says Cam Skattebo is the goat. So yeah, Randy knows what's up.
yeah, good to see Randy. It's hard not to like the guy. Yeah, you had some good points with the whole. You were saying like whenever he gets the ball,
Yeah,
the crowd's gonna go like the boo or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That is the last
Skattebo.
name.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, his name doesn't quite work for it, but
It
like
actually does because we're actually saying his name wrong. Like it's like Skattebo. I don't even care. I'm saying it's
oh okay.
Skattebo.
Oh wow, okay. Well, even better then. So now we're gonna be
Yeah,
like boo. I
yeah.
don't know. It's gonna sound like boo, but I don't know. They'll figure it out. But
No,
like
they'll know. Awesome
he's
play.
exactly the kind of player where the crowd is gonna love to do that kind of chant for.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah, you have Tracy coming back at some point. It's a bad offense, but here's the real issue. Somehow this went over my head yesterday. I don't know if you heard this, Dan, but Jackson Dart will be starting for the Giants this week.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I think that's pretty interesting. Obviously Russell Wilson had that big game in week 2, kind of came back to down to earth week 3, but Dart is someone that the market's very excited about. Like he looked good in preseason, according to reports. I didn't actually watch him in preseason, but definitely seems like there's a lot of excitement about Dart. So yeah, maybe he gives a little boost to this offense.
Yeah, I would propose, like, when I first heard that, I was like, damn it, for Skattebo. I didn't like that at all. Russell Wilson was check down Charlie. I know he had a 450-yard game. You watched him in preseason and these other games. He is just looking for the running back, looking for a check down
Okay.
damn near every time that his first read isn't open, and you can see it. He had 8 targets on Monday night with against the Chiefs with Skattebo there, or Skattebo with Russell Wilson,
Mhm.
and also Jackson Dart had the highest scramble rate of any quarterback coming out of the draft. So not what you want to see out of. It's just not a good combination. Also, the offense, it could take a step in the right direction, but also the Giants did just score, 40 points like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
right. I mean, that was not an easy matchup anyways. I mean, hey, they just got, kind of destroyed by the Chiefs, and hey, Cam Skattebo was still able to have that good fantasy game with Russell Wilson. So, like, I'm personally worried about the Dart thing. I don't think it's guaranteed it's going to take a step back, but I would have liked to see some more games with Russell Wilson personally. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I hadn't really thought about it, but I do think you make some good points there. But I don't think it's enough to talk me out of Skattebo, or like if I was going to make a trade for Skattebo, or deciding whether to start him or another player in like a redraft league or even any league. I don't think it's something that's going to be like shifting my decision majorly. But I do think it's a good point that you brought up. So I mean, if you have a ton of other good options, maybe you consider some of the other ones until you see how it looks with Dart. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting it impact my Skattebo love too much.
No, neither with me as well. But it is something that I'm just like, damn it, because a big part of him is, we know he's going to get the goal line stuff, all that good stuff, and score points. I mean, hopefully the offense moves with Dart, but you just never know, right? I mean, hopefully it's nothing like the McCarthy experience. But he's a big PPR scam as well. He's a great receiver, and I mean, hopefully he's like Fields with checking down the ball. I doubt it. Kind of, we just don't really know until we see. Maybe there's some like preseason data, but that's not enough to have any kind of idea.
Yeah, and Randy says, I'll never trade him. In Listener League, my running back core is nasty. Bijan, Gibbs, Jacobs, and Skattebo. That is pretty nasty. That is sick, Randy. Yeah, great running back core. I would not be in a rush to trade Skattebo either. Also, we got Seb in the chat. Welcome. He says, but yet negative records, so clearly not nasty enough. Oh, okay. We got a little trash talk here. A little Listener League trash talk in the chat. What are the Duncan brothers in Listener League? Is it 0-3?
They got a good team, man. They got a good team.
They do have a good team. I mean, I can't believe like they're not doing better. I mean, it's just honestly, I mean, a lot of my best teams are like 0-3 and 1-2 right now. So you are not alone, Randy.
No, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting conversation I haven't heard talk. Honestly, like some of my best teams as well are just, I have like 2 0-3 teams that are like some of my best rosters going in.
Yeah,
one was my best roster going into this season, undoubtedly, and another one is, a really good roster.
Right.
And it's just like, if you've had Chase, you've had Jefferson, you've had Burrow, you're probably 0-3, man. As hilarious as that sounds.
And I'm telling you, like, if I go to pull up any of my dynasty leagues and I look like, okay, who is like the worst team going into the season or like one of the very worst, inevitably they're like 3-0 or 2-1 in like every single one of my leagues. So it's insane.
It's
right
like
now.
The worst team, but they had Javonte Williams or Quentin Johnston in their starting lineup,
or they had Trey Tucker stuck in their lineup for like God knows what reason. Like it's just stupid stuff like that. So it has been a weird.
It's been really weird. I would say this has been the most odd. And then there's also like, if you had a BTJ, if you've also had London, good luck winning a game right now. So. Yeah, and it lad as well. It's been like so many letdowns.
Or if like Burrow and Penix were starting QBs, or like Burrow and Bryce Young. I mean, it's just like woof.
If anyone else there has had Burrow and Penix in the league, you need to come out here. We need to take therapy together. I've had, if you just look like at what they've done. Okay, the Bengals quarterback room has scored you this 9, 9, and 7 points depending on your scoring settings. Maybe less, maybe more because interceptions, especially with Browning last week getting destroyed by the Vikings defense. And Penix had the good week 1, but again Burrow let you down, and then two basically nothings at quarterback. So that's the ultimate 0-3 lineup, and I have that unfortunately in.
Or even if you've had like Chase and Jefferson and like, even like Lamb, like it hasn't been that great for one reason or another. Either they got injured or their quarterback got injured, or they had like one good game and like 2 stinkers. Like it hasn't been pretty. Like if you've been like loaded at like what we thought were the stud receivers, even like Ladd McConkey's been underwhelming. So like, it's just been like a topsy-turvy few weeks here.
Pretty much if you pull up my Greaseball roster, every single disappointment at value of dynasty value, straight down the board. Like for the first 3 weeks is literally my team. Even Derrick Henry is on that team, who had an awesome week 1, 2 stinkers in a row now, which in
I
some
mean, and you
fumbles.
you would have thought he just would have like gone off on the Lions, like at
Oh,
home, prime time, shootout, like in Baltimore. Like you just thought he was gonna go nuts, and it was looking good after that like
yeah.
40-yard touchdown, and then he does like nothing the rest of the game. He actually has a fumble. Like I mean, did he like lose points after that touchdown? I mean, it was he just said like absolutely zero.
That's 2 games in a row where he had two really, really
Oh,
bad
that's right. 'Cause he
fumbles.
had week two was a bust for him. So I mean, I don't know. Like I don't want to get like overreact to Henry. Like he might be a good buy low, but it is crazy that he's had two
Yeah.
bad weeks in a row.
If I needed a running back, he'd be a good buy low, but like a little skeptical, just in the sense that there's gonna be a day. I don't know if it really is now, but that's very un-Henry like. Two absolute stinkers of game. By the way, he's had I know the Browns defense is really, really good actually, and we can't really credit that as like fantasy players. Just knowing, oh, it's the Browns. They have a really good rush D, especially.
Okay.
I mean, they stuffed Derrick Henry over and over and over again in week 2. And then, I mean, we all watched week 3 on the primetime game there. But
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs also just had a tough game against the Browns, so like he might be a good buy low as well. I mean, we saw him heat up last season, so I mean, it is such a great time to really take advantage of these fluctuating values in dynasty and take advantage of these like unexpected outcomes. And like, I mean, you can buy low on so many like good players right now if you're just willing to bet on the talent, their history of producing fantasy points. Like you can really get some good deals that will age very well, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, maybe we should just go and talk about a few of these really disappointing players. I'd say for both of us, though, we'd probably lean real quickly just on Henry and Jacobs. We'd probably both lean just buy them if there's a discount. I'd say be a tiny bit skeptical, just in general. I wouldn't want to pay, full market value just given that they haven't been that good.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it like you'd either want to get them with a fake first, or if you're having to pony up a real first, you'd probably want to get like a nice throw in along with either like Jacobs or Derrick Henry possibly.
Yeah, I'm always skeptical when sending any first for any running back, especially if they're just like not a 22-year-old stud or something.
And if they're not smashing right now.
And if they're not smashing. So I mean, I never wanted to send a first ever for Henry. So especially not now. But yeah, I think you just get creative with your deals, and maybe you can sell a guy doing well right now, or maybe you get a Skattebo in a deal for a Jacobs if you feel like you want more of a sure thing, something like that along those lines. But let's talk about. I
mean, that's actually a great question, and I want to finish up the Skattebo conversation before we move on to too much else here. But that is a really interesting one. Like, which player would you rather have in Dynasty right now, Derrick Henry or Cam Skattebo?
Oh, Derrick Henry. That was not me answering it. Like,
yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Jacobs.
No, I was gonna ask for both. I mean, let's do both. Let's start with Henry though. So, like, if you have that in your inbox, like, which side do you want?
Yeah, I mean, look, people get very ahead of themselves with age on running back in Dynasty. I notice that all the time. And I mean, like, Skattebo's 23, probably going on 24. I'm not sure when his birthday is. I'm assuming it has to come this year, but I could be completely wrong on that one. But coming up in the following months, and look, once you're already like 24 in Dynasty as a running back, like, if you aren't producing well, like, you know what I mean? Like, if he takes any step back, like, the market's not too friendly to you. So,
but I have to think that, I mean, doesn't it feel like Skattebo in real leagues has to have more trade value than Derrick Henry right now, coming off like the two stinkers? Everyone saw him have like the kind of lousy game on Monday Night Football. And just like we were talking about, the likability factor with Skattebo. And even if you don't think the age really matters that much with running backs, the market still might. You know what I mean? So like, I think I'd rather have Skattebo. I mean, like, yes, Tracy could come back in a few weeks, but it kind of feels like, I mean, we both, Blake, you and I were both expecting Cam Skattebo to take this job sooner or later. We didn't think it'd be this soon. Obviously, we can't predict injuries, but I kind of think he's going to keep the job. I mean, I'm not going to completely write off Tracy. He'll still probably have some role. He'll probably be more like a handcuff plus kind of thing. But I think Skattebo is going to be the RB1 in that backfield. And I just think he's one of those guys that you just can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like, I mean, the fans would revolt if Skattebo like lost his job to Tracy coming back from injury. So crazy as it sounds, like, I think my gut instinct here is I'm going to take Skattebo over Henry. What do you think? But it's against Henry. I still like him.
It's very difficult because this wouldn't even be a conversation if Derrick Henry just put up 25 points last week. Yeah, like, anyways, I mean, it'll be close. It'll be close because I
It'll
know
still be a
Skattebo,
conversation,
but
but I think it'd probably lean Henry.
you just feel
Maybe.
like, okay, week 2 is complete fluke, and he's right back red hot. But and I think this is more of a spike week than anything for Skat. Like that was a perfect storm of a game. We'll see. It's an unknown exactly what to expect. Again, the whole dart thing. I do think like Skattebo carries more like trade value at this very moment. I
Yeah.
don't think it's like too different, but I do like the PPR scam factor. Again, is that even going to be as much as we hope right now? With Dart, I hope so, but to be determined. So I think there's just really a lot up in the air with these guys. I'd say they're
Yeah.
pretty close. If I'm like a true contender and I'm one running back away though, just give me Derrick Henry, and I'm gonna ride it out and hope for the best. If I'm more of if I'm actually playing maybe that middling game, or I got 1 foot in but in 1 foot out, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna make the playoffs or not, it makes way more sense to have Cam Skattebo potentially. So
Yeah. I agree. Yes. I mean, certainly if you're rebuilding or if you're even kind of like, yeah, that 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. Just give me the younger player who's probably like more likable at this point anyways. I think that definitely makes sense. So yeah, if you are kind of in that position and you have Henry, yeah, I would absolutely offer him straight up for Skattebo.
yeah, I had a little something on for Jacobs, of course. I'm still being careful because I think everyone in the offseason is guilty of just saying Jacobs is amazing. He's 100% going to smash, and we're just not seeing that through the 3 weeks. But this is really similar to how we started last year as well. So there can always be a chance that the thing is he's actually had the opportunities. They've been great game scripts. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
Right.
I think he even has 2 touchdowns in 3 weeks, I believe. And
I think so.
It's basically saved his weeks. Like if he didn't have those touchdowns, like he'd be one of the biggest disappointments right now in fantasy. So yeah, I don't want to get too out of myself. I wouldn't add too much to Skattebo. I don't even know. You got any idea of what you would add?
I mean, if I was sending out offers, like I don't know. I think it's like really close. I think you could argue it either way. But if I wanted Jacobs and I had Skattebo and I was sending out offers, I think I would start. I think the first offer would be a straight up swap and just see if that could get done by any chance. I don't think it's that outlandish. I think that's a reasonable first offer. I'm sure some people would even prefer Skattebo over Jacobs at this point, right or wrong, right? So I would send that out as the first offer if I wanted to get Jacobs and I preferred him. And then I would see, maybe the guy counters and yeah, if you have to add a little something, but I wouldn't add much. I mean,
maybe
I
like a
think
second, third swap or something like that.
I don't even know if I would do that. Like, because it feels like there's I don't know, at least in terms of perception and market value, it seems like there's a big value difference between a second and a third. So, I'd certainly do like a third, fourth rookie pick swap. I'd probably be willing to like throw in a fourth if I really had a good feeling about Jacobs. But honestly, I think that's pretty close. I really wouldn't add much. I kind of go either way with that one. But
I do a second, third swap, by the way. I think that's a sweet spot for me. I don't think you could get it done with less unless you got a big Skattebo guy.
Yeah.
And if they're, whatever, they like Skattebo, I think a second, third swap I could certainly live with to swap them.
Yeah. And I honestly, like, if I own Skattebo, like, I'm probably just like rolling with them. I'm probably not like going out of my way to like add a little something to turn him into Jacobs. I'm probably just like kind of riding that train and seeing where it goes.
Okay, Nahal here has got a question, by the way, that involves Skattebo.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome back, Nahal. By the way, if we answered any, you were in chat a lot last week, you can remind us if we helped you with any start sits or anything, because I'm always interested for anyone coming back if we, sold you or helped you. I feel like we've been more good than bad so far, though.
Oh yeah, like start sits are really tough. So it's kind of nerve wracking doing those start sit streams that we've done recently. But yeah, I feel like we've actually been making pretty good calls for the most part. So if anyone out there watching, if we answered any of your questions, like let us know. Like, did you take our advice and how did it turn out?
I swear, like Nahal was one of those Hampton versus Skattebo guys, but maybe it was someone else. So let us know if that was you, Nahal. But he asked, where would we rank Benson rest of season? And would we have him over CTE King Cam Skattebo? Which is a very interesting question. They both... Yeah, there was another backfield that gets affected by an injury with Rip James Conner going out. So, yeah, Benson's kind of an unknown. We have not seen a game of Trey Benson without James Conner, other than basically what we got for, half the game, less than half the game. He did play a ton of snaps, but it was one of those ones where, okay, they don't have their full running back. Like you can't make roster moves and plan for that in game, so it's kind of hard to know exactly how that backfield will shape up. But I think maybe a clear difference between the two is you have, well, Connor's out for the season. Tracy will be back, and even if we think Skattebo's ahead of Tracy, he'll still be pitching in and, be good at something or provide something for the offense. I want to lean Skattebo, but, like, what's going to happen to Benson? Like, friggin' Amari DeMarcado is not or Michael Carter and Bam Knight, like, those guys I don't think are going to go with Benson. I'm just more confident that Skattebo's better than Benson, though. What do you think, Dan?
Gosh, I mean, I'm probably not even like qualified to really say like which running back is like more talented. I know with Benson, like you had mentioned one time on the phone recently that kind of something that you saw whenever you would watch Benson was like a little bit of tentativeness, like when he was like, hitting the holes. And you said that even like one of his coaches like made a comment about that like he needs to hit the holes with like more conviction.
And I've heard a lot of tape guys also mention that, and that was just something I noticed, and I'm no tape running back
you're not
film guy.
Film expert or whatever. So I mean that scares me a little bit, but one way or another, it does seem like he's been fairly efficient so far in his NFL career on the limited touches that he's had. He's also shown the ability to get targeted a little bit, catch the ball. Hard to know what to think of that Cardinals offense. I mean, we just hate that offensive coordinator there, and we hope he gets replaced, as soon as possible. Although that might just be wish casting, we'll see. But I mean, they're both kind of suspect offenses, right? So you don't even really fully have that as a tiebreaker. I mean, obviously,
here's where I think it's the best way for me to describe it, by the way, in just like one sentence, Dan, is my heart tells me Skattebo, but my brain's telling me to go Benson. I would just, in general, by the way, I'll give you my answer is Benson. I think he's gonna have Benson slightly ahead just for all these factors mentioned. And I wouldn't really worry too about like who's better. It doesn't really matter for fantasy fully, but think about it. I mean, he's been getting a lot of passing work, Dan, even with Connor there, and he has looked much better. I think there is still, I've heard on tape, there is still those hesitations going line of scrimmage, but when he gets out in space, he's been really good. So for me, just of like lack of competition, and here's the thing, Dart is coming in. I am scared about that. I am of that receiving floor, that offense. At least Kyler's there. He checks it down to running back. I think that gives me that slight confidence that that consistency could be there a little bit more for Benson across the season. And he also just fits the mold of a league winner.
Yeah, and he does have really elite speed, and I mean, maybe he learns to start hitting the holes a little harder as he gets more snaps and more touches. Maybe he can kind of play his way into that and improve that over time. I mean, it's definitely not what you want to hear about a running back, but again, one way or another, like he has produced there, and that's actually another good selling point for Trey Benson is that it kind of seems that like whatever running back they put back there in Arizona, they're like really efficient. Like, I mean, DeMarcado like seems to always average like 5 yards a carry.
Michael Carter's been good there.
Even Michael Carter has like gone in there and produced at times. And been, he hasn't always been the most efficient, but he's at least been like reasonably efficient. And certainly like gotten the touches and been fantasy productive, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's almost like that Cardinals backfield is kind of like the equivalent of like Vikings QB. Just like whoever you stick in there is going to be like pretty good for fantasy. So I do think that's a good selling point for Benson. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think that's right. Like my heart definitely wants to say Skattebo. I feel like that's what I want to say. But yeah, like logically, I feel like Benson should probably be ranked ahead. But man, that really is a toss up.
Yeah, I think it's very close, but I don't know. I guess Well, I mean, I'll stick with just a hair for Benson. I mean, if Tracy was gone for the whole year or they didn't just switch to Dart, I think I would have to say Skattebo.
You know what? Just to keep it interesting, I'm just going to say Skattebo. I usually like to go with my heart, go with my intuition, so I'll say Skattebo. But that is such a coin flip.
Yeah, and then E comes back. We've seen him before. Welcome back.
Welcome.
It says T. Higgins, Matthew Golden, or Wandale. Who we starting, boys? Wandale making it. Look, Jackson Dart, I was talking about him. I just don't think I want to start any receiver in a bad offense, a slot receiver in a bad offense, who is getting a rookie quarterback that's also just like not even a sure thing. I mean, look, the number one pick is struggling, as they most often do, so I would completely eliminate him. I'm assuming this is just one guy, I think you just got to go T Higgins. You know,
Yeah, gotta be. I mean, it doesn't feel great, and he did like nothing against the Vikings, but he had like one catch. But like that was just a bad day from the Bengals offense, and that happens sometimes in the NFL. And yeah, I guess I mean Vikings defense, got to give them some credit as well. I definitely expect Browning and that Bengals offense to bounce back. So yeah, I think you got to start T Higgins there pretty confidently over those other two options.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Matthew Golden, good guy. I mean, again, it's one of those ones
Good
where
stash.
hopefully you're wrong on that one. Though. Hopefully Golden shows you up and you can have confidence going forwards. And
Yeah.
Nahal says, are you about to read this out?
Oh yeah, Nahal says I made all the right decisions, but I went against a Philly triple stack, so I got cooked 0-3. Oh, that is rough. I mean, hey, like I can relate though. I mean, my redraft team is not doing very well. Just the team has not come together. I'm not feeling very good about it. We do league median in my home league, so actually started out 0-4. I was able to get a couple wins this past week, so I'm kind of on life support here at 2-4, not feeling great, but I can certainly relate. I mean, redraft can be kind of fluky compared to dynasty. It feels like.
Yeah, I swear in redraft, like I get so unlucky and just whatever injuries or whatever randomness, or I have too much dynasty brain. To this year
Right.
though has been a good start
Right.
for me, so I'm hoping to keep
Okay.
that up. And also for anyone else who's in the chat there, let me know if you played against the Vikings defense and like how many points they even scored. They were
Right.
scoring 42 points or something like that in my formats, and I play against them in two leagues, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I've checked the matchups in that game. I'm like, I'm obviously lost. Somehow I won both those matchups, which is like
That's insane.
impossible. So if someone survived the Vikings defense, let us know here because like, who the
That's
hell did
wild.
you have in your lineup? If you look at one of my lineups, there was not a single spike player in there, but it was like mid spikes. Every single player scored 20 across the board.
Oh wow.
Uh, and it was like just consistency somehow overcame it. He's like no one
Yeah,
busted.
it's funny because sometimes like you look at your point total and then you like look at the breakdown for each player and it's like, how does it add up to that? It seems like it doesn't. It's like usually just like every player was just like really solid to good, and it doesn't feel like you had an amazing week, but it really adds up. So it's funny how that happens.
I've noticed that there's so much weekly variance and duds in your lineup that if you actually just avoid them and have like really solid performances
Yeah,
and not are great, like you end up having a really really good
right.
week. It just
Absolutely.
rarely happens. That's why it
Yeah,
feels
exactly.
so
That's why it's
strange.
kind of that's why consistency and in terms of like fantasy production for individual players is kind of overrated because it's so rare that you're just able to like get a good game from like every player in your lineup. So that's why spike weeks usually have more value.
Especially when you have so many players in your lineup. You know, so people are busting all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so Nahal has an interesting thing here. So he said he traded Ibuka and Lad for Benson, but it sounds like both 1-for-1 in different leagues, which is very
Oh,
interesting. So like, did you have Connor on those teams? Were you needing a running back? I know that the running back market out there in redraft in dynasty. It's really tough right now if you only have a guy. And
yeah.
you're missing a second reliable option, or you just have a rookie that's being disappointing right now.
Yeah, but I mean, if you need a running back, I mean, I personally think those are both fine trades.
As long as it's like I know Nahal was sharing actually as well one of those leagues for sure where he had like a super stacked receiver room, so I'm fine with it
Yeah,
knowing that context. If
yeah.
I'm like in a kind of deep like format where I have Ibuka, I mean
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't be sending him for that, but again that's going to be more format and probably like half PPR dependent.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's interesting because Lad we'll probably get into him, but Ibuka gets even more opportunity with Mike Evans going out, but it is going to be it sounds like Chris Godwin coming back, so it'll
Yeah, so
be
kind of you kind of break even on that a little bit potentially. I mean, we'll see how Godwin looks when he comes back. But yeah, even if you feel like, oh man, like maybe that was like a slight overpay or whatever, I really don't even think so because I think in most shallow redraft leagues, I mean, me personally, like I put a premium on the running backs in those leagues because like that's the scarce position. Usually in those shallow redraft leagues, like you go to waivers and it's like, oh, Josh Downs is there and Christian Kirk is there, and it's just like, it really kind of devalues receiver. So I'm fine paying either a Buka or Lad at this point for potential workhorse running back like Benson with some fun upside.
yeah. My only hesitation would be in they're already done, so maybe he already had this check this issue would be, could you get a better running back? Basically, I know that Benson's kind of an unknown
Yeah.
anyways, but it
I
would
mean, I'm not.
be,
I'm not saying you could, but that is always just a good general question to ask before any trade. Is ask yourself, is this the best return I can get from moving this player or this package?
yeah, which
Always a
probably
good
like one of the best trade advices ever that I don't think, and especially when people ask us a question, sometimes our league mates that we're friends with ask us questions too, and that's kind of like always, especially if I'm not in the league, that's always kind of what I ask is like, well, can you do better? Like, is there anyone else to trade with? Like, because yeah, I mean, if that's the only option you got, hey,
Right.
you're gonna have to take that. But
Right.
a lot of times there is a better option to or a better route to go when making a trade.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt to exhaust that a little bit before just like hitting accept on something. It's like, okay, maybe I'll just like hit up one or two other managers, send out a couple offers, and just see if there's anything there before I accept this deal that maybe I'm a kind of 50-50 on.
Yeah, in the whole last, he doesn't feel like he's overacting, but what do we think? I mean,
Mhm.
I don't want to say you are. I think this my only skepticism would just be that again, you're trading him for him, assuming he's going to be good because we know that Ladd and Ibuka are really good, and that would be my only hang up again with can you do better? Can you get a guy that is going to be a better running back or is already a sure thing?
But you know what the other thing is, though? I mean, it depends on your specific league and like how active it is. But like most shallow redraft leagues, and they're often not the most like active in terms of like trading. I mean, obviously, like trading's a lot more commonplace in Dynasty. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, even like in my home league that's been going for like 25 years and is like fairly active in terms of like you rarely see someone like not set a lineup or anything like that. So like it's a pretty active league. But even with like a pretty active league in a general sense, like there aren't many trades that go down in my home league each year. I mean, like maybe like two or three. I mean, like, and usually like they're all involving me. You know what I mean? So it's like if that's the case in your league that you don't see a lot of trades each year, signs if you just have an opportunity, you just got to take the bird in the hand. So I really am fine with that deal.
Yeah, my first league that I ever played in over multiple years, it was a 14 team. I was often getting a lot of deals done. There was actually a decent amount of deals. I thought there wasn't many. Then I was playing in these leagues that other redraft leagues that I played in now. I don't even think there was a trade in one like
Right.
last year.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's been none in I think any of mine so far. I've had a guy though, and one really pressing me over some of the running backs I got, so there could be a deal there. But like, it's rare. I rarely get a deal done in redraft. I look for them, but it's very difficult to get deals done, especially when you're in like a deeper. Everyone's kind of missing something.
Right.
But it's like, okay, do I turn my running back issue into a receiver issue? There's always going to be like
Yeah,
a
it's
hole.
like you're filling one hole and you're opening up another a lot of times, and yeah, it's just tougher because like everyone usually has the same goal. Like everyone's trying to contend. I mean, it's not like in Dynasty where you got the contenders and rebuilders, so it definitely makes it tougher.
And not just that, I think natural trade psychology is they're more focused on what they're losing than what they're gaining. They're like, oh my god, but now this happens to my roster, not
Yeah,
focusing
not
on
I'm
holy
gaining this
crap.
awesome player or filling this need or whatever.
Yeah, so it's very difficult. So yeah, it's funny that we actually get a lot of questions on like trades and I see those all over the place. So
Yeah.
some leagues are very active for trades out there.
Yeah, and I actually just got a trade done in my home redraft league. I mentioned I'm like 2-4, and I have like a bunch of players that are like banged up on top of that. So I just was looking for some help, looking to buy low on someone. So I bought Calvin Ridley, basically gave up Brandon Ayuk and Tyrone Tracy. So, I don't know. I don't know how you. I mean, it sounds like you're a little down on Ridley at this point, Blake, and I certainly can't blame you for that. But I'm just hoping that he turns it around one way or another. I think I read that he has had some drops. So hopefully, if he can just hang on to the ball and Cam Ward improves and their chemistry improves, like I have to think there's some way in which that could get better.
Well, he can't be worse. I mean, he really can't be unless he's on the bench. I've heard from Titan fans and people complaining that he's been awful, basically. So that's not
really?
good to hear.
Ridley specifically?
Ridley specifically drops. Okay. They're saying whether it's like, I don't know if it's effort or like confidence, whatever the heck it is. It sounded like all the DJ Moore like allegations he's getting. So
yeah, it doesn't make me feel great, but like I just don't think Ayuk or Tracy were helping soon.
You
I feel
can't
like
start either of them this week. That's the important part, right?
exactly. It's like if I can't like turn this around soon, I feel like I'm probably just gonna like miss the playoffs. So I feel like it's worth the chance. I mean, I could always try like flipping them for someone maybe I like a little better. But like honestly, there have been like a lot of players that have like looked bad at times this season, like Brian Thomas with drops. You know, CeeDee Lamb had like like 3 drops like that week 1. He was driving me nuts watching the game. So I mean, there are a lot of good players that have looked really bad at times this year. So sometimes you just gotta like roll the dice that they figure it out.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially when if you're in a situation where you're 0-3, got to make something happen. And then,
Yeah.
oh wait, whoa, okay. So Nahal says he sent both receivers for Benson. He hasn't accepted yet.
Oh.
So I know that is the league where he's got like the ultra stacked receiver room. I mean, yeah, okay. He lists.
But I'm confused because he said both 1-for-1, but now he's clarifying that
So both 2-for-1.
For one.
I believe so. So that's the league. Okay. So then his receiver room is Garrett, Rome, Ladd, Igbuka, Worthy, Downs, Hunter. So I guess how many receivers you got to start? Because I mean, dude, you got to be able to get a better running back than Trey Benson for Emeka Ibuka uh, and
Yeah, I mean, I know receivers can be a little devalued in these like shallow redraft leagues, but man, I mean, that 2-for-1 seems a little.
He said separate deals, so
okay,
I think
cool.
he sent it to the same owner. But okay, separate deals. That makes so much
more
sense.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, good to clarify. Because I was gonna say, dude,
that would have been sending both of them. I mean, it'd have to be a really shallow league, like starting one receiver and one flex or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's probably a lot of really good receivers on waivers too. If you can't get that done, I wonder what other good could you go get just a guy producing like Javonte or someone along those lines? Or I mean, Dobbins is so injury prone. It feels.
I mean, what about even like Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs? I mean, what about them?
Yeah, can you add? I think I recommended for you to trade away Worthy last week. Again, I'm just so scared he's going to be a decoy. He's got a torn labrum. That just doesn't seem like a good combination. And then Rice is coming back. Like, can you package one of those Ladd and Ibuka and Worthy and go get like an underperforming Henry or Jacobs? I feel like I would like that more. And you could probably go get some really interesting guys off the waiver wire. Your Burdens of the world, maybe even better than that potentially, depending on how shallow the league is.
So you're saying like do a 2-for-1 to try to get like a Jacobs or Derrick Henry?
Yeah, again, we know that it's kind of like a shallow league, so just what do you like? I think I told him last week that like Worthy has basically no use on his team. So
okay, so
just throw him in a deal.
What would you add to Worthy? Like just like Worthy and Ladd or Worthy and Ibuka?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just basically treat Worthy as like almost as not like a true zero, but like you can actually use him for credit to get to a better running back than Benson.
Yeah. I mean that might actually be a good call. I mean if it's truly like a start 2 receivers and like 1 flex and you got like 6 or 7 really good receivers and they're good receivers on waivers and they're just kind of a dime a dozen. Like, yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to do something like that.
Burden and Horton and all those guys are going to be on his waiver wire, so
exactly
100%. So yeah, you can. I feel like there's some confidence doing that too. But what player should we jump in to? Let's talk quickly about the Jags because we kind of covered them last week. We were kind of talking about some disappointing guys here. Last and I mean,
one last question before we jump into the next thing, because I just want to make sure we're covering this fully for our dynasty managers. If you're a rebuilder with Trey Benson or Cam Skattebo on your roster, I mean, would you trade them away for like any 26 first? Like even if it projected late, like would you need a throw in? Like what do you need as a rebuilder to cash out on Benson or Skattebo?
Even as a contender, as long as I'm not desperate for them, I'd take a 26 first. I'd take just about anyone's 26 first right now, and that could be wrong because they could be good and they could be worth more than that in the off season. I just, to me, when you can cash out at someone for a first that was not worth a first like a week ago, they're running backs. Like I know that they're good, I like them, but there's other good running backs, and you can kind of go get. I don't know. You can backload with thirds, and you can just go draft more Bensons or whatever, seconds and thirds, and go draft a million running backs the next draft class and hope you hit on you can replace those guys I think easily over time, and then you could just buy one back with a first. Like you can buy a really good running back with a first at any time in Dynasty. There's only a handful of running backs that even trade a first like for the running back, so I'm always going the first side, but if anyone else disagrees, I'd be interested.
Yeah. And by the way, just real quick to update you, Blake, because we were talking about it a little bit before the stream. We have a completed trade in the listener league
Okay.
between me and Jacob. So I cashed out on a Rondé Gadsden. I got a second, a third, and a few throw-in players. So yeah, we will be discussing Gadsden soon. But you wanted to jump into the Jaguars?
Yeah, because I got an update. I'm just what's it called? I'm selling the ship on, or I'm selling on the Titanic here.
Oh
you
my
know,
God, yeah, Travis Hunter,
on
right?
Travis Hunter, which is crazy because if there was any amount of confidence I could ever have, like I maybe this like goes back to my original. I mean I remember
Right.
way pre-draft when the
Yeah,
Browns were supposed to take him, and
yeah,
you were being the Hunter guy, and I was like, well, what if this? And unfortunately, like that's ended up happening, even though I thought the Jags were the perfect landing spot for Travis Hunter. I couldn't have more confidence in the Liam Cohen. Hey, he's playing in the slot. Chris Godwin, everything lined up perfectly on paper,
mhm,
and yeah, I mean, could not be more wrong. I think one less. I think there's really one positive lesson though of any. I don't know, maybe two notes I would say of this. Number one is you would think drafting or having this much Travis Hunter would be like a detriment to your like dynasty portfolio. And I've gotten out of it like way smoother than I thought, man. Like
right.
I've had to take some deals that like, I don't love, like I traded him for Smitty and Rashad White today. Like that's not that bad of a loss to me. Like I feel like that's pretty like lucky to get that today.
Oh yeah,
And also I mean, I packaged him in a deal for what you could say was either like a first or Kyron, but it kind of enabled this other package to happen, a bigger thing to buy on Rice and QJ and Kyron. So, and then yeah, I've had some other one like a first and a Burden. I think the key is to like try to get like a first and an upside player in the deal, even if you have to add something back. Try to get a package of similar upside if you want out of Hunter. And as the Travis Hunter guy, I will say like just sell low. I
yeah,
like the quote today was like I'd already been selling all week, but the quote today was like, yeah, his snaps aren't increasing with an injury. It's just like it's a red flag. I know that Hunter can. There's still ways that he can produce. By the way, BTJ sucks. Like you think that would really help Hunter.
right.
It's not helping him somehow. And how is he taking step backs from his week one? You saw exactly what you wanted to see week one.
Yeah, and I mean Parker Washington just got what 11 targets. That's crazy. I mean, I actually even have a few Parker Washington
Yeah.
shares, but like that's still not what I want to see. I mean, I only have
No.
one Travis Hunter share, but like I would much rather have Travis Hunter work out. I actually thought of just an interesting trade possibility in Blood, Sweat, and Beers because Mad Chaos is like in a full rebuild, and he sent me a couple trade offers for Travis Hunter, but it was like I think it was like after week one, or it was like really early in the season, kind of before the stock really started going down. And he's got Trey Benson. So like, which player would you rather have in Dynasty right now, Travis Hunter or Trey Benson?
God, I mean, yeah, this is the big dilemma with Travis Hunter. Maybe this should have been called the Travis Hunter dilemma, by the way,
I know,
because
right?
that could have been a good one.
Oh yeah, actually, that is a true dilemma. Absolutely.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like, and I mean, this is just how I play Dynasty here. Like, I don't want to eat. I mean, here's the thing: if Travis Hunter was actually just a receiver, then I would like not be panicking at all about what's kind of
Right.
going on just as
Sure.
far as
Oh
production.
yeah, 100%.
But is the fact that he's like, here's the thing: I know that whether it doesn't matter anything, just the market's gonna be so out at some point in the season. They're gonna be like, I don't know how low he can go. I mean, he's the second overall pick at the end of the day,
Mhm.
and we know how talented he is. I'm sure he's gonna have games where he's gonna score a touchdown here or there, whatever. But you just have a hard time seeing like, I mean, they basically said like, hey, next season, like they want to increase stuff or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like I'll reconsider next season. But
Mhm.
what's he gonna be worth in the offseason? I have no idea. I don't think anyone can even say what he'd be worth, or it's just a pure guess if you're trying to estimate at this point what the hell happened. So, God, I mean, if you gotta sell him for Benson, I guess so. I mean, I think the best way to get off Hunter though is to just not focus the deal around Hunter unless the person comes to you.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I ended up getting that Smitty deal. The guy actually asked me for Hunter. I didn't even try pawning him off to him.
Right.
I think it's just you just throw like a bunch of crap in the deal I
Yeah.
threw Justin Jefferson in a deal to
Right.
really smokescreen him out.
Oh yeah, talk about yeah, that's the ultimate smoke screen right there.
So get creative if you're trying to sell Hunter. I think you gotta really take it off of like, oh my god, this guy wants off Hunter. I think that's a mistake. That's a last step desperation.
Yeah, you don't want to give the other manager that impression, like, "Ooh, this guy wants to get off Hunter. He's dying
Yeah.
to get off Hunter." Like, because then they're gonna have all the leverage in the negotiation.
Yeah, do not throw Hunter on the trade block. Although that's funny because I technically did that, but I threw Justin Jefferson, I threw Chase,
Yeah, fine.
Chase, so I just put him right beside all those other names.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it. You know, my policy, like, I refuse to ever put anyone on the trade block. Like, actually do it. I mean, of course, I trade players, and sometimes I'll go into the chat and say, hey, like I'm looking to make a trade or do this kind of trade or whatever. But I hate actually putting a player on the trade block. I feel like it just lowers their value.
Yeah, I mean, I generally agree, but then when you have, all those Jeffersons and Chases...
Yeah, then, again, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
And it's been hard to... Well, I mean, here's the thing. I haven't really been even sending many offers out in the first place, but I'm just having a hard time when I'm looking at other people's teams. So I just kind of want to see, hey, does anyone want Jefferson, Chase, whatever? Like, I don't even know if I really want to sell them. I want to change something up in that league, though, because it's just a disaster of owning all those players in a combination. But... I mean, yeah, Hunter, I think the key is, like, just look for players, like, that's what I loved that Burden trade last week I did. I had to add, like, a third to get Burden and a first back. And, I mean, this part that sucks is I went and then traded Burden away right after for a 27 first. Or, like, I added it to him to get to a 27 first. And, I just had a feeling, like, I didn't think it would be, that like, last week. But I had a feeling one of these weeks, Burden would be the guy. Luckily, in my big redraft, by the way, I was telling my buddy, I'm like, look, we're going to be idiots if we don't pick up Burden in our last bench spot.
Yeah.
And if he just randomly scores a big touchdown, well, sure enough, he did, and thank God. We save, a big chunk of our fab budget now. But you want to target guys like that, though. Whether, maybe it's too late on Burden, but there's a long, long list of every single week you get a rookie stepping up. So... get ahead of it, I think, is the way on Travis Hunter. And I think he's just going to continue tanking until, I don't know, maybe he scores a touchdown one week.
With Burden?
With Hunter. Like, unless he has a random spike week.
Yeah.
He's just going to keep going down. You got to get out before the narrative is, like, completely cooked on him.
Yeah.
So I got rid of 4 of 6 shares so far.
Yeah, I mean, I worry, like... maybe it's even too late, but I think it really just depends on the league and the specific manager. So I wouldn't assume it's too late. And I think your advice is spot on that, like, you can't make the trade about Travis Hunter. You need a lot of distractions and smoke screens in it. So yeah, I think if you can get creative, like, it's definitely worth exploring. At the same time, like, I don't think all hope is lost. No. But if you're the kind of dynasty manager where you, like, play the market, it might be the smarter thing to sell, especially if you're contending. Because I just don't know if he's going to help you anytime, like, immediately, like, in the very near future. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, like... I mean, I could definitely see him being a savvy buy for more of, like, a rebuilding team, maybe a team that's more kind of, like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But, yes, if you're more of a contender, I think it's at least worth exploring what you could get selling Travis Hunter right now, because you might get something that's just... both better in the short term and might even end up being better in the long term.
I will say, as a rebuilder, I think you should be selling regardless. And this is just the way I'm playing with a portfolio. And the reason why is, look, if Travis Hunter isn't the test for me, like, of how you see I want to play Dynasty, especially in a portfolio, is like, dude, I don't want to hold any player that I think is just going to keep tanking. I want out. And then here's the thing. I don't think Travis Hunter is a lost cause at all in the future, right? Like, I'd be pretty shocked if he wasn't worth at least a first in, the future, or a first plus. He's just a really talented player, right? I mean, we know it's a really unique situation. We have nothing else to compare it to. I gotta assume he bounces back, whether it's, next season, or even at the end of this season. But the key is, when I go in, eventually probably get back in on him, what am I trading for him? A second and a throw-in? Like, maybe he's worth maybe he's on, like, waiver wires because people think maybe he plays full DB next year or something. There's a wide range of outcomes, and the teeter-totter I've been kind of looking at on him is, it was really leaning one way of loving him, and then things very quickly flipped, and I'm just waiting for the point where he's cheap enough to get back in with with little risk and have very, very high upside. He might literally be one of the best buys in the next, calendar year or so.
Yeah.
Once everyone's out on him, I would have to assume. So, uh,
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Also, Seb has a question in the chat here. In a tight end premium league, he says, I have a potential trade in another league I'm in, big boy trade. Which side? Trey McBride, DK Metcalf, and a fourth for JSN, Jordan Addison, and a third. So, okay, we can kind of cross off the third and the fourth, nothing major there. So basically, yeah, which side do you want in a tight end premium? By the way, Seb, let us know what the tight end premium is exactly. For the moment, we'll just assume it's like 0.75 because that's just sort of like a median tight end premium.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's say in a 0.75, Blake, do you want McBride and DK Metcalf, or do you want JSN, who's been really hot this season, and Jordan Addison, who's just coming off that suspension?
That's a super fair deal, like, at least in my opinion. JSN's certainly been a huge, huge riser. I mean, he's been awesome. Like,
Yeah.
we know he's a great prospect. Trey McBride's, hey, he scored a touchdown. He's putting the narrative to rest.
Hey,
he's already on board.
It's a start.
It didn't take 15 weeks this year. That's good to see.
Hey, yeah, it's improvement.
So, yeah, I mean, DK and Addison.
I think we prefer Addison over DK. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, but and I'm you'll know I'm a big Addison guy, but I don't ever want to take my Vikings fandom and be super biased with it. And
no, but I would say that.
But I still have a lot of hesitations on Addison. He's just in Dynasty I clearly want to own Addison over DK. Yeah. But it's one of those ones where oh my god, if you need this dude to rely on them, and maybe you have other stuff that you can't really trade around, you're limited. Yeah. I could see someone taking DK. He's gonna score a touchdown. I don't know what to expect from Addison, especially with this Wentz McCarthy thing going on. So.
Yeah, but what are you really expecting from DK Metcalf most weeks? I mean, I'd have to pull up his box score to see how good he's been. But he's been okay, I think, right?
He's scored 12, 13 points every week. But he's at least Rodgers already threw for 4 touchdowns. In a game.
He's got some touchdown upside for sure. He hasn't got a lot of targets though. 7, 6, 4. It's even been trending down. Yeah. And he's got a bye week next week. So yeah, I would much rather have Addison. I mean, just a spike week potential. I mean, Addison can put up 30, 40 points in a week, even if he's a bit inconsistent at times. But he does have a nose for the end zone. Obviously you'd think of DK Metcalf as the better touchdown scorer, but Addison's been a touchdown maker himself. So I want Addison over DK Metcalf. I want the third over the fourth, even though that's not significant. And JSN McBride, even if it's a 0.75 tight end premium league, I feel like that's close enough where that's almost a toss-up. So maybe you give McBride the slight edge and that kind of tight end premium, but that's close enough where I think I'd take the JSN side overall.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good point about the whole upside thing with Addison because that's still be there regardless. I'm just very worried about the floor being very, very low this season. But again, playing Dynasty, I think you can build your team around that, whatever. You can figure it out. And maybe you can even get lucky with Addison just still balling out regardless. But he even then says it's just a 0.25 premium, so easily JSN.
Oh, God, easily take the JSN side then because, yeah, I think I'd rather have JSN over McBride in that scoring straight up.
Oh, 100%.
So, I mean, Seb, I think, did you say that was an offer you sent? So I'm assuming you would be getting the JSN side?
Yeah, whatever the case is, JSN.
Oh, but wait a minute. That does say it says 1.25. If it says 1.25 in the settings, that means it would be 0.25 PPR for tight ends. So please clarify that stuff.
Yeah. Is it 2.25 or is it 1.25?
I think if he says it says 1.25, so that means I'm thinking that it's 2.25 PPR. God, if that's the case, I gotta go McBride then. Yeah.
That's your answer.
He's gonna be a cheat code in that scoring. If he's getting 2.25 points per reception, gotta go with McBride.
Absolutely. And Nahal's back. Welcome back because he had to step out for a second. He says, other than Benson at running back, who would we be kind of targeting with the Ladd and Buka thing? So I was sitting with Ladd. I'm just personally adding the Worthy thing, and I'm going to the Jacobs manager. I'm going to the Henry manager. I'm going to. I mean, basically.
What about Breece Hall? Would you buy low on Breece Hall?
I mean, I want to buy low on him. I'm the biggest Breece guy though, so I don't want to be too over my head on buying him. So I mean, there's a real potential of a trade or something. They're 0-3. I don't know if a trade, by the way, for redraft is even good. I know that sounds really good, but is it really good to get traded?
It kind of has mixed results. I mean, you think of Amari Cooper last year, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there have been other examples where it's worked out better. So, yeah, for redraft, it's not something you're probably like crazy about. But
Yeah.
if it is a better situation, like maybe it's worth the
Yeah.
gamble. But not
Like,
something we have to do, of
if
course.
he landed on the Bears or something, I mean, that's come on, it's got to be better somehow. So,
Yeah.
uh,
For Cowboys would be a lot of fun. It'd be rest in peace, Javonte Williams. I got to
oh
feel like
man,
in that
yeah,
situation.
yeah, I got to be careful with these Javantes. I already bought
Right.
one,
Well, I
but
mean, Javonte's seemingly playing so well that like maybe now the Cowboys aren't even thinking about trading for a running back.
well,
So
they hate paying running backs, so I actually would be skeptical that they would then trade for Brees.
yeah, maybe Bears would be more likely, and that'd be a great spot. So yeah, maybe if it was to the Bears, you'd be happy about Brees in a redraft league. Um, but yeah, let's see. And then Nahal also says, can y'all rank these three in redraft? Cortland Sutton, Lad McConkey, and Emeka Buka. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I might have to look at the box scores just to kind of refresh my memory on exactly like how good they've been this season. But I mean, I have a pretty good sense of that. Let me pull up like Sutton's last game because that's one I don't like know
He
offhand.
had a really good week 1 and 3. He had
Okay.
like 20+ points or something this week.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. So he had 8 targets, 6 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. So yeah, Sutton's been really good 2 out of 3 weeks. So he's probably been like the I don't know, it'd probably be between him and Ibuka as like the most productive so far. I'll pull up
That's
Ibuka's.
such a tough one because Sutton, especially with the dynasty brain, is just like not a very it's not a very sexy name. But then with
Exactly.
Lad, and we got to get into Lad. Like,
I probably got to rank Ibuka first just on pure upside. So I'd probably say Ibuka. God, I don't know. Could Lad be third of that? I mean, that
but
sounds so weird and wrong to
here's
say.
the one thing with Lad that I'm a little weary of because I know he's still a good. We all know he's still a good player. Everything's supporting that, but he didn't have Keenan Allen with him last year, who's scoring like a touchdown a game right now. By the way, I mean surely one of those will go to Lad eventually. You got QJ, who,
Yeah.
you assume, okay, he doesn't score a touchdown, he's going to have a bad week. No, he steps it up with 10 targets. Tape bros and every metric bro has been just loving QJ. You got to start assuming that's more real than not.
Yeah,
I'm
feels like
certainly
it.
starting to believe it now.
Me too.
So, I mean, hey, you even had Gadsden with 7 targets.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, if we're saying that Keenan Allen is legit, QJ is legit, Gadsden is looking like probably legit.
Well, Lad got there through being extremely efficient with like all the volume on that passing offense, and that's kind of not the case now. So like,
Yeah.
he's one of the most odd ones where it's like, what are you even selling him for? Like, and I know this is redraft, but especially in Dynasty, what are you even doing with Lad? But I mean, like, even to just can you even fathom the idea of like QJ being a better like Dynasty asset than Lad? I mean,
That sounds
we
so
might
gross.
be trending that way. I don't want to rule it out
That
now.
would be so wild. Yeah, I mean that's a whole other discussion. But for the purposes of redraft and ranking them, yeah, I guess I got to say Ibuka, Sutton, Lad for the moment because at a certain point you just got to believe what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Lad has some good, name like recognition, went really high. So maybe he's the best one to trade of all those guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is really really difficult. I would say I have about zero confidence ranking any of those three. I would say like it doesn't really matter if you were trying to see who to trade away. I'd say just trade whoever you get the most credit for, whether that's the most productive right now or whether it's Lad with the name brand.
Yeah. Also, Seb clarified the trade offer that he asked us about. He says that he would get the JSN side and that he has the power to accept or decline. So it's an inbox offer. So that's interesting. Seb, just please
Confirm with us.
confirm the scoring settings for us. Like if you pull up the settings on Sleeper, does it actually say 1.25 in the Sleeper?
Just send us a screenshot. Send one of us a screenshot of that, and also send us a screenshot of like the receiver points per reception. Because what if it's like 1.5 or something weird? Like what if it's
because sometimes there are some weird bonuses for receiver where it's essentially like a tiered PPR. So yeah, just send us a screenshot of like the scoring settings for receiving. You could either like text it to us or DM it to us on Sleeper. I don't know if there's a way to put it in the live chat, but yeah, send it to us one way or another. We'll definitely look at that right away when you send it, and we will give you a more direct and better answer.
Yeah, definitely do that before we tell you to do anything. We do not want you to accept a deal on the wrong settings.
Yeah, because if it is 2.25 PPR for tight ends, like you got to.
It basically couldn't be a more important setting.
Yes, this is very
the answer
critical.
depends on what the Yeah, with the
Yeah. And
scoring
by the
and
way, we
stuff.
got 8 people watching right now. Welcome everyone. Appreciate all the support here. Yeah, if you want to do us a favor, make sure you're subscribed. Like that's the best thing you can do to help us. Also, if you are already subscribed, drop us a like. You can always leave us a comment after a while, but really
Yeah.
appreciate everyone's support.
And while we wait for Seb or anyone else dropping their questions, you want to talk about a player? We just talk about some Chargers stuff. Do you want to talk about Roundy Gadsden?
Just real quick, we won't dive deep into it, but Brian Thomas, are you buying low or selling low on Brian Thomas in Dynasty right now?
I only have one share, and I think I'm selling low. Like I'm to be completely honest. I know he's really talented.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, there's a whole issue with Trevor Lawrence and like,
Yeah.
is he really that good? I mean, maybe he's just one of those guys that, again, at some point in his career, or
Right.
maybe later in the season, bounces back. He's not been good. Brian Thomas has been awful. Like, hey, he's apparently he's gonna get an open. He's has like no confidence right now. Whatever the situation is, the vibes are awful. And honestly, like, Dan, when you take a step back to like when you've seen cases like this, I don't know. To me, it feels more often than not, you're just better off selling low and just maybe try to get the guy ascending. I think there's so much you could do with Brian Thomas Dynasty. That
Yeah, you take a 26 first that projects mid to late plus Luther Burden for Brian
that's
Thomas.
exactly what I was thinking. I'm like the same deal I just took for
Yeah.
Hunter a week ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's exactly the kind of deal you'd want to do. I think you could
Okay,
get.
so basically, you'd be willing to take like a real first and a fake first, pretty much for Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I never agreed anyways that he was ever worth 3 firsts. I know that like he was going really really high. So to me, I think that's a pretty big win if you think Luther Burden's around that late first value. I think that's an awesome trade to get out on right now. I think you might even be able to get a little bit more just off the Brian Thomas name brand and people assuming the best coming. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I would need a real first, a fake first, and a little something on top personally. So even that doesn't feel amazing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I could even see buying low in the right situation, but like man, that he really is a conundrum right now.
Yeah, I mean the addition, I do agree. I'd want like I don't know whether it's like a Jalen Royals or like just something. I mean, hopefully you can get better than that. But like I really didn't like as long as you think that like Burden is really just like a late first guy. I really didn't think he was worth much more than that anyways before the season. Although I really thought he's a good player and all, but I'd be pretty happy to accept anything around that 2 firsts right now.
I mean, wasn't Brian Thomas going like late first, early second, in like most startup drafts? So to me, like that's a player that's basically worth like 3 firsts, at least at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you got running backs going ahead of him. Like, I don't think those running backs
Yeah,
are
but I
three
mean,
first. You got who else is back there in the?
I mean, even if you wouldn't pay it, like Bijan and Gibbs are like worth 3 firsts.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone like I rarely see those players like actually.
It's not always like 4, 3 literal firsts, but it's for like player worth 2 firsts plus a first.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the leagues I had them in, I mean, like I had to add 2 seconds to get like to that 3 fake first things. Like I don't think I think the 3 first is just like over. Like it's overused for players because like you're in the first round. I don't think that's true. I think it's like half the first round, and then you're in between 2 firsts and 3 firsts for all these other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in like deeper leagues where it's like start 11,
start 11,
start 11, like in that case, like maybe it's like a little less than 3 firsts, but
sure,
I hear you.
Start 9, sure, but like start 11, like dude, like that. I mean, you could build a whole team with like 3 firsts. So, I mean, he's going there, which it makes sense because you look at at everything there, but. Yeah, I mean, he can bounce back. I'm the vibes are so bad. He's put up a couple bad weeks. So
yeah, he's a tough one right now for sure. I think I'd be open to either, just depending on what I would get. So I think he's a player you kind of gotta be flexible on. At least that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Like I'm not dead set either way. It kind of just depends on what I'm getting for him or what I'd have to pay to buy him low.
Yeah, but by the way, Dan,
from Seb,
could you just take over the ship here? I gotta go for a few minutes here, so just go through the list, do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, but yeah, I just got a screenshot from Seb, which I had asked him to send to clarify the scoring settings with regard to this offer that he has in his inbox. So I'm looking at it right here for receiving. Okay, reception, it says 1.5. Okay, so it's like a 1.5 PPR base. So that's going to apply to any position. And then reception bonus tight end. Oh, it just says 0.25, as in 0.25. So basically, that's a tiered PPR. So basically, running backs and wide receivers are going to get 1.5 PPR, and then tight ends are going to get 1.75 PPR. So even though it is like a 1.75 PPR for tight ends, that's still a little watered down because running backs and wide receivers are getting 1.5. So really, like, the way you could almost kind of think about this is it would be similar to just like a regular full PPR league with a tight end premium of like 0.25. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it in my head. So that's not a very big tight end premium. So in that case, Seb, if you're getting the side with JSN and Addison in a third, I would smash accept that personally. I think that's a great offer. So yeah, let us know if you end up accepting that and if you have a done deal there. But yeah, I think that's a great offer to have in your inbox. I would accept that very, very soon before the other manager comes to his senses there. And then let's see, we'll catch up on the chat here. Okay, we got Nahal. He says, I believe in Ladd. His efficiency is down and it's weird, but I think he can get back to 15. Yeah, I don't hate that take. I mean, anyone that's been watching this channel for long, going back to like last off season, you know how much I love Ladd McConkey. I mean, I was like absolutely pounding the table for him last off season as he was coming out, heading into his rookie season. I mean, I drafted him in just about every dynasty league that I was in at the time. I always got him in like the late first of rookie drafts. Even got him at the 201 in one of my leagues. Obviously, he was a big hit, so definitely believe in the talent, and he's on a great offense with a great QB. So I have to think at some point he's going to be producing better than he is right now. So if there's enough of a discount, like, I could certainly see buying low on Ladd in just about any format, but I just don't know that it's going to be quite to the level of what we expected it to be, coming into the season. So, but if that's already kind of built into his price at this point, and you're getting enough of a discount, I'd certainly be open to the fact that we're probably going to see better days from Ladd. I mean, he's not going to be getting outproduced by Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson like every single week, like it's seemingly has been so far. So yeah, I really just think it depends on the price. So yeah, if you have a specific offer involving Ladd in your redraft league, let me know what it is. I can certainly weigh in on that and give you a more specific answer. And then let's see. Seb says, sent to both. It says 0, not 1, but that 0.25 crap. I don't know. You'll see you're both the vets, LOL. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we saw the screenshot. That definitely clarified that. And then let's see. Seb says, okay, bet it up. My other tight ends are Hunter Henry and Mark Andrews. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, feel free to provide any other context for your league, like how many teams are in the league, how many players do you start each week. So yeah, let me know that if you want. But since it's not really a big tight end premium, if you really don't really have to start like a tight end in a flex, like that isn't that appealing in that format. I don't know. I guess it's still viable, but they're not going to be that much better than the receivers. If the receivers are getting 1.5 PPR. So I'm fine just having two tight ends like Hunter Henry and Mark Andrews. I mean, we just saw Mark Andrews finally come to life against my Lions on Monday Night Football. He looked good. Certainly didn't look washed. A lot of people like to say Mark Andrews is washed. Certainly didn't look washed in that game. And yeah, I mean, Hunter Henry just went off for the 2 touchdowns. What do you have, like 90 yards against the Steelers? So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good in that format and scoring if those are my 2 tight ends there. So yeah, I would absolutely hit accept on that trade. So yeah, keep us updated on that. Let us know what you end up doing there. But yeah, we'll jump into some other players here. Yeah, because I know that Blake and I also wanted to talk about Arondé Gadsden and Torrey Horton, and Trey Tucker was another one. Maybe we'll start there just because, I mean, he had such a monster week. I mean, I'll pull up the box score here, but I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. What was it, like 145 yards and 3 touchdowns? I mean, my first instinct is that, like, okay, like, I mean, this just has like fluke written all over it. Obviously, Trey Tucker wasn't any kind of amazing prospect. I believe he came out of what, University of Cincinnati. So not like it's some like big time football program there or anything. And, he came out the same year as Tyler Scott, his teammate there. And they were both just kind of these like whatever, mid round of the NFL draft wide receivers. Like they really weren't anything special as prospects. Very kind of similar wide receivers too. I actually even kind of thought that Tyler Scott may have even been a little better. But Trey Tucker ends up getting drafted earlier by the Raiders. I think he went in like round 3 of the NFL draft, whereas Tyler Scott was like round 4 or 5, something like that. But I think it was mainly for Trey Tucker's punt return ability, if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty much for, I believe it was a special teams that was like kind of like part of the big appeal why he went earlier in the NFL draft than expected. But still, he was like a 3rd-round pick, and even then, it kind of seemed like a reach at the time. And yeah, I mean, I guess he's had like little flashes through his first couple years, but like nothing amazing. It kind of just seemed like he was this guy that was just kind of like a starter by default, and you never really knew when to start him. So now he comes out this week and kind of out of nowhere here. Cause I mean, like through the first 2 weeks, he went like 2 for 54 and a touchdown, 3 for 12, no touchdown in week 2, although he did that on 8 targets. So that was, semi noteworthy. And then he follows it up here in week 3, he gets 9 targets, catches 8 of them for, 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's even had a rushing attempt each of the last couple games. And yeah, he's been both returning punts and even a kickoff for the Raiders as well. So he's kind of doing it all right now, receiving, rushing, even returning kicks and punts. So, I mean, most leagues don't give fantasy points for return yardage, although some do. So always a good thing to look at your scoring settings and see whether that's the case or not. Yeah, I mean, if your league gives any kind of points for return yards, I mean, yeah, I'm really buying Trey Tucker. But just in most normal leagues, whether it's redraft or dynasty, I mean, my initial instinct was just to think that this was a complete fluke. But as I've kind of have reflected on it a bit and also heard some other people's opinions, just consuming a little bit of YouTube content myself, I think I'm kind of coming around on the idea that it might not be complete baloney. Like, I'm not saying like all of a sudden Trey Tucker is like some stud or whatever, but I don't know, like almost like in a Quentin Johnston kind of way. I mean, that's not the best comparison because, of course, Quentin Johnston has 1st-round draft capital. But just in the sense of like a player that initially you start seeing the production and you think this is probably a fluke, but as you start to see more and more of it, it starts to feel less and less like a fluke. And I know this is his first like really noteworthy week, but like I said, it was interesting that he did get 8 targets in week 2. So he's got 2 games in a row now of 8 and 9 targets. I mean, I have to put some, credence into that. I have to give him some credit for that. It's not easy to command 17 targets over the course of a couple of weeks in the NFL. So yeah, I think I'm like kind of buying it a little bit. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I definitely want to see it a bit more, but if you wait too long and he starts doing it for 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, whatever, starts doing it more consistently, like you're going to lose the opportunity to trade for this guy, whether it's dynasty or redraft. So I am open to the idea of buying Trey Tucker in just about any format from a manager that just kind of thinks like, oh, this is garbage. This is baloney. He's never going to do that again. Like he's not any good. He's not going to be reliable for fantasy. And that's very possible. But if that's kind of already built into his price, I mean, I'm trying to think of what I would give for him in dynasty. I mean, I think I'd give a 1/3 at this point. Like, I don't know if that sounds crazy. I don't even know if that could get it done at this point. Maybe you even have to throw something in that just, you don't even really value that much. Just like I don't know, maybe just like a random rookie that like hasn't produced yet, like a Jalen Lane or something like that. So could I get Trey Tucker for like a 1/3 in Jalen Lane? Like, I think I'd be willing to do that at this point. Like, so I don't even know if that's, how that's going to age or whatever, but I think I'd be willing to roll the dice. I mean, I think what's interesting is that Geno Smith seems to like Trey Tucker. I mean, we see that by the targets these 2 straight weeks. And you can easily tell yourself a story that like, could Trey Tucker just be like Geno Smith's like new Tyler Lockett? So it's not, I don't know. It's not too hard to kind of talk myself into that. Hey, we got KO Kingdom in here. Welcome. Good to see you here. He says, yo, Bears won. Awesome game to go. All my Bears team. My all Bears team won. Awesome. Hey, I called it, right? You asked Blake and I who was going to win. I think Blake said Cowboys. I said Bears. So, yeah, I just felt like the Bears were due to bounce back. So, Yeah, I mean, good to see for your Bears there. Even though I'm a Lions fan, but hey, I'm gonna be happy for you, KO. And that's awesome that your all Bears fantasy team won. I mean, from the sounds of it, like it sounds like you literally have like all Chicago Bears in your starting lineup on this fantasy team, and maybe even like some Bears on your bench. So like that's pretty hilarious that team actually won. I wouldn't think that would generally be a viable strategy, but hey, like that was the week to start all your Bears. So like that's awesome to hear. But yeah, I mean, let me know in the chat like what everyone's thinking with Trey Tucker because he's definitely a guy that I'm kind of like not sure exactly what to do with, but I think I've ultimately landed on like I'm willing to buy him low if a manager just thinks he's like selling high on Trey Tucker or whatever. So I don't know if you can get him for a third and a throw in. I don't think I'm ready to pay like a second for Trey Tucker on just like one big game and two good games of targets, but I'd definitely be willing to do a third and a throw in. So let me know what you guys think. Like what would you be willing to pay for Trey Tucker? Also, if you own him, like if anyone owns Trey Tucker, like let me know, are you looking to sell high on him? And like, what would you be looking to get for him? But KO says, I also traded Jutkins for Emeka Buka. Okay. Interesting. Um, yeah. So I assume that's for redraft. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a pretty fair trade. I mean, I do think that I tend to value running backs like more in these like typical shallow redraft leagues where you're only starting like, seven offensive players plus kicker defense. But if you just believe in a Buka or you needed some wide receiver help or, maybe there aren't like too many great options, wide receiver options on your bench or on waivers or whatever, I think that's a fine trade. Like I think in a vacuum in a shallow redraft league, I think I might lean toward Judkins there. But again, it just kind of comes down to team need, and maybe you just really believe in a Buka. I mean, Buka's a really exciting player, so definitely can't blame anyone for getting the Abuka side in just about any trade. So yeah, I think that's a fair deal. Oh, and then we got Randy here in the chat saying, "Let's make a trade, guys." So yeah, I assume Randy, you're assuming to this three-way offer that you sent out just before we went live here. So I'm pulling that up right now. So this is in, let's see, what was that? Was that Listener League? Here, let me pull up our DMs here because I think that should save it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the trade would be between me, Randy, and Reed, and this would be, oh no, it's in Guardians of the Dynasty League. So this is kind of like I believe this is a 10-team league, a little shallower. I think it's like start 8, but there's no super flex. It's just like you can only start one quarterback each week. So it's a shallower league, only 10 teams. And let's see. So Randy proposed this trade. I would be receiving Travis Etienne and Jalen Royals, and I would be giving up Jordan Mason and J.K. Dobbins. So yeah, I did see that before we went live. Not crazy about it. I mean, I don't know. I'll pull up ETN. I mean, ETN's been good, but I mean, so have Jordan Mason and J.K. Dobbins. So I don't necessarily feel like, am I getting like a major upgrade there? Like I'm not entirely sure that I am. I mean, ETN's been good. His fantasy points in the scoring has been 23, 19, and 12. So has been trending down a little bit. And that's probably as we've seen like Bashal Tutin emerge. Got a lot of shares of him in Dynasty. So does Blake. So that's definitely a running back we're excited about. Could we see a changing of the guard at some point? Certainly possible. You could say the same thing about RJ Harvey or about J.K. Dobbins though, with RJ Harvey kind of waiting in the wings. He hasn't really been much of a factor yet. But Jordan Mason has a pretty clear path. I mean, there's just like really no one there to compete with him for touches or goal line carries. I mean, he's just like a workhorse. He's still pretty young too. So I don't know. I mean, you could argue like, could Jordan Mason be the best player in that side of the deal? At least that 1/3 of the deal. But yeah, it's a three-way deal here. So let's look at the other two sides of it. So Reed would be getting J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. So he'd be getting J.K. Dobbins from me and R.J. Harvey from Randy. So I guess he would lock up that Broncos backfield. I know Reed's a Broncos fan, so I can see why Randy thought to send this offer. And then Randy would be getting, oh wow, Jordan Mason and Matthew Golden. Interesting. I mean, I definitely feel like Randy, you're getting the best end of that deal there. Which so it isn't too surprising. I mean, not too surprising considering you were the one that sent it out. So yeah, I mean, let me know if you're open to counters or whatever. I mean, I'm not even exactly sure what I would counter with. I would have to pull up the league. I don't know. Maybe when Blake comes back, we could do like a little screen share and maybe we could try to craft something. But yeah, I think that would be a decline. If I wasn't trying to counter it, if I just had to accept or decline, it'd probably be a decline. But I always like to try to counter offers. I think that's something annoying in Dynasty that I see a lot is like I'll send out a trade offer and like the person just declines it. It's like, why not counter? I mean, deals are never going to get done if you just like decline rather than countering. Actually, I think even my team name in this league is accept or counter, just as a way to encourage people to not decline offers. So, yeah, I mean, if we have time on the stream at some point when Blake gets back, maybe that's something we could look at. But hey, it's always fun being able to negotiate and complete a trade live on stream here. So I'm certainly open to that. And then we got KO Kingdom in the chat who says, I had Higgins and Terry McLaurin. Okay, so he's referring to, I'm assuming this redraft team where he traded Judkins for Mecca Ibuka. And then he says, choose two, Emeka, Ricky Pearsall, and Zay. So obviously, I'm assuming this is a start-sit decision, KO Kingdom. Let me know if it isn't. But okay, so you have to start two this week between Ibuka, Pearsall, and Zay Flowers. I mean, I know Ricky Pearsall was just added to the injury report. I don't know if that's anything serious. I could pull that up real quick and just kind of see what the general update is there. Let's pull this up here. Okay, yeah. So I do own Pearsall in one Dynasty League, Grease Bowl. So I'm pulling it up here. Let's see, pulling up his player card. So yeah, it says with Pearsall, okay, he's not practicing Wednesday. Pearsall is a new addition to the injury report, being listed with a knee injury that left him sidelined at practice on Wednesday. We won't know more about the severity of the issue until later in the week, and fantasy managers, okay. So yeah, just kind of ambiguous at this point. So not panicking over that, but definitely something to monitor. Obviously, if he's out or, greatly, like if we get a report that he's like going to be playing at less than 100% or have like a limited snap count, probably just go with Ibuka and Flowers. I mean, that might be the right call anyways. I mean, let's look at the schedule here. Pearsall is home against the Jags. That is a good matchup. Looks like they're 27th against wide receivers in terms of fantasy points, meaning they give up a lot of fantasy points. And then let's see, Ibuka. Let's see, who does Ibuka play this week? Let's see, I got him. I got Ibuka in the league that I co-manage with Randy, Aqua League here. So let's pull that up. Ibuka plays home against the Eagles, so that's fine. It's just kind of like a middle of the road matchup. And then Zay Flowers. Who is Zay Flowers playing this week? I got him in the Break Room League, and he is playing at Kansas City. So I mean, that's not a great matchup. I mean, we did just see the Chiefs like pretty much like shut down Malik Neighbors. I didn't have a chance to watch that game, so I don't really know what that looked like or whether that was just a bit of a fluke. I mean, my general policy is like I kind of just ignore matchups for the most part with start-sit decisions. I will use it as a tiebreaker, but I feel like I usually make better decisions just kind of ignoring it because like when I start like making the choices just based on like who has the better matchup, I feel like usually that leads me in the wrong direction. So I will use it as a tiebreaker if it's just like really close between the players, but I really don't like to use it as more than that. So yeah, I guess Pearsall is the best matchup. I guess Flowers has the worst, but honestly, I don't think any of those matchups are that significant enough for me to like let it dictate the decision too much. So I'm probably just playing the two best players. I think I'd lean toward. Gosh, that's tough. I think I'm definitely playing Ibuka. So I think it's between Pearsall and Zay Flowers. Okay, yeah, and KO Kingdom confirmed that it is a start-sit decision for this week. So yeah, I'm definitely playing Ibuka. And yeah, I mean maybe the Pearsall injury kind of ends up making the decision for you if he's out or limited. But assuming he's healthy and fully good to go and playing full snaps and the reports look good and everything, I could see going Pearsall with that matchup, and he is coming off the good week. Zay Flowers is coming off the rough week, but I mean, prior to that, I mean, Flowers was red hot, and Pearsall had been disappointing through those first 2 weeks. So, gosh, that is a really really tough one there. God, I mean, you could almost flip a coin with that one. I don't really have a strong feeling. I feel like in the past, I'd probably go Pearsall playing that matchup there. I mean, I don't know, like Ravens Chiefs. on paper you would think it'd be high scoring. I feel like those games aren't like super high scoring in like the past when those two NFL teams play each other. Um, so I can't say I have like a great feeling about Flowers. Um, I feel like my heart is saying Pearsall, my head is saying Flowers. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know if Blake has opinion on this one,
Uh-oh.
but
Okay.
I was just answering. We got KO Kingdom in the chat here.
Oh,
And by the
beautiful.
way, just to update you, he said, yeah, he's happy about his Bears winning, and even better, his all Bears fantasy team won. So yeah, I
Oh,
thought
that's
that was
right.
yeah.
It was a
But he's
good day.
asking. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good day for him being a Bears fan, 100% on Sunday there. But he's asking us to start sick question. He has to start two of Emeka Buka, Ricky Pearsall, and Zay Flowers. So I said I would definitely start a Buka, who happens to be playing the at home against the Eagles, and then Pearsall is home against the Jags. Zay Flowers is against the Chiefs. I can't remember. Okay, at Kansas City. So I said I'd definitely play a Buka, and it's kind of close between Pearsall and Flowers. I feel like my heart's saying Pearsall kind of playing into the better matchup. Jags are like 27th against receivers. But I feel like my head is saying just play the better player, which I have to think is probably still Flowers at this point. So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
kind
that's a tough one. I think maybe what I would just do to ease it up on myself if I was in your position, would
of
I would just start Ibuka with that Mike Evans injury. He's been great. Just start him. Hopefully he's not the worst of the three. Um, and then I would go with if Jennings is out, which I think he's gonna play. If he plays, I'm gonna go play Flowers. If Jennings is out again though,
yeah.
then maybe I lean Pearsall on that.
Yeah, and as long as Pearsall's healthy, because he was just added to the injury report, didn't practice today, but
Yeah.
who knows? Like, could that be like a rest day or whatever? It sounds kind of ambiguous at this point, but yeah, assuming Pearsall is healthy, if Jennings is out again, yeah, I think I'd lean slightly toward Pearsall. But if Jennings is back, or like I said, if Pearsall's like out or going to be playing limited snaps or something, I think I'd just roll Zay Flowers out there and hope he bounces back this week.
Yeah, I mean he's been awesome. Like it sucks to see for Flowers though. Like just when you're thinking, all right, we get the new Zay Flowers, we
Yeah.
like there's no bottom of the barrel floor, and then he has that game right at 3 weeks in, and that's always been the issue with Zay Flowers. It's not had anything to do with him. It's
Yeah.
just he has these random 4 point games. They have no effort to get him the ball. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think of a team that should make an effort to get a ball to their number one, like it's Zay Flowers. He's great after the catch, right? He's good
Fast.
everywhere around the field.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he can like run the deep routes too. Even though like the Ravens oddly haven't used him much,
Yep.
too much for that through so far in his career. But he can do that. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about. I feel like I want to say that I heard that they Ravens have been using him a little more in that sense this year. Don't quote me on that though. But it's certainly in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, there's never been a question, at least for me, that like about his like actual talent. It's just like, like I hate when these teams. It's the same thing with like Marv. I think Marv's a good player, although I know he had like a bad game and some really like brutal drops. Like that last game, there's question marks. Like it happens with players, but like, dude, you just like look at the highlights on Flowers and stuff like that, and just like a lot of like Lamar highlight reel plays, like they're often going to Flowers. He's an awesome
Yeah.
player. I just don't understand why they don't just. I know players will have bad weeks. I maybe you can just like hope that it's a one-off game, but that really looks like those games that you've had those issues with Flowers in, and it's basically the reason why he's been like, I don't know. I mean, at least why I've been having a tough time buying into him. I mean, with
Yeah,
that
and you
being,
also get Isaiah Likely potentially returning this week. I guess like that could
yeah,
hurt the target share as well. But like honestly, I'm still a pretty big believer in Flowers, and he was really hard to trade for in Dynasty after those first two red hot weeks. So this might actually be a sneaky opportunity here to buy low on him if you have the Flowers managers thinking like, okay, it's back down to earth, back to reality. And so like, I mean, I don't know what you'd be willing to pay for Flowers, but I'd easily pay a late projected first and plus like some kind of throwing on top. I mean, I'd do that pretty easily for Flowers right now if I could.
yeah. I mean, I did that before the season for the one Flowers I owned. I mean, I would do that,
So
like
maybe he's a
especially
little
during the
more
season.
expensive now. Like I don't know if you'd
Yeah.
pay a first and a second, if they're both
I
projected.
just be careful with that's always been my kind of rule is like with all receivers is like just I mean someone's gonna like Flowers watching more than another one, And if you like Flowers, maybe you have that little bit extra room for trading for him. But there's a million receivers, so I know it's I think you've made a point before about selling like receivers, or like you want to draft them to sell them. I get a little bit scared of that because a lot of people have opinions on receivers,
Hmm.
and you actually need to find like I guess if you were dealing with me trying to sell a receiver, like to me, I don't fully care which one I get. There's many good options out there. Um, so yeah, I really wouldn't be dying to give up anything more than like a first and like a third or something like that. Or I mean, really, that I don't know, around that range. I sold him for a first no Smitty and 2/3. I don't even really know what the equivalent to that would be.
Okay.
Just is Smitty worth a first or is he worth a first plus? I have no clue.
I think Smitty's worth a late first for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming he's went down in value, but I
But
would
yeah,
just be
I wouldn't move Smitty for less than like a late first or equivalent.
yeah, I do think it would be a good time though if you like Flowers, absolutely to go buy him. I mean, I'd still be interested myself in getting him if I needed a receiver.
Yeah. And then Hall says Wednesday injury reports don't matter unless you're injured. You get a full practice for real. So yeah, I mean, definitely not panicking over Pearsall sitting out today, but just something to monitor is all. And then KO Kingdom asks, so for sure sit T Higgins. Okay, so yeah, I didn't realize that was an option as well. So what do you think? I assume you can only start still two of those. So yeah, add T Higgins to the mix. Would
Yeah.
you? So let's say we're going with Pearsall and Buka.
Okay.
Do you like Higgins better than either of those guys?
I, honestly, I'd say it's kind of impossible to know right now. I mean, you get an awful game from Browning. We've seen Higgins be really good with Browning in those when he got to play with him in 2023. So, I mean, it's kind of just unless you have like that intuition that Higgins is gonna go off. I'd say you sit him, you gather more information on him. But
I
again, I'm
agree.
not shocked if Higgins goes off. I think you have a safer floor and a somewhat similar ceiling with those other guys. Is all.
Yeah, I think I'd put him fourth on that list of Abuka, Flowers,
Yeah.
and Pearsall. So yeah, I'd put Higgins fourth
Yeah,
there.
I think it's
I
very important to remember the range of outcomes on these players. All the guys listed that we were just talking about have still very high weekly ceilings, just like Higgins. But you just feel better about their floor. Those 4 point games or whatever he just had to one catch game, those kill you. So
Yeah. And then also we have Randy in the chat who says, okay, I'm back. Sorry, kid was going crazy. Yeah, no worries, Randy. But yeah, while you were gone, Blake, Randy had asked us about, he said, let's make a trade, guys. So yeah, I meant to mention this to you before the stream, but I guess it doesn't involve you. But Randy had sent me a three-way trade offer involving me, Randy, and Reed.
okay.
So I didn't know if that's something that we'd have time to like negotiate live later, but I didn't really like the initial offer, so I don't know if that's something I could maybe like counter to something good. But basically, my side of the three-way deal is I would be giving up Jordan Mason and J.K. Dobbins, and I would be receiving basically Travis Etienne with Jalen Royals thrown in. So, I mean, how would you rank those three running backs in Dynasty moving forward between Travis Etienne, Jordan Mason, and J.K. Dobbins? Like, in what order do you want those guys in Dynasty? Are they all kind of the same to you?
I mean, they're all the same guys, different font. You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I like those are the most definition of players. Like I could not confidently. I mean, there's every single. They're all very like not. They're just so similar. You know,
Yeah.
you got injuries, concerns with Dobbins. You got okay. Aaron Jones is gonna come back eventually for Mason and ETN. Well, he has Tootin, so like yeah, I mean, it's kind of pick your own, flavor on those guys. I'd say of all of them,
I mean, Mason's got to be number one, right? Even if it's not like by a
I
mile,
don't.
but like I'd rather have Mason
They're
more than
yeah, they're all the same like age by the way, or within a year. It doesn't really matter. I would like maybe by a hair with my Vikings fandom
yeah,
say Mason, but like I don't know. I think the only reason why is because okay, you have Aaron Jones who's already banged up and whatnot. Whereas
yeah,
these other guys, and even if Aaron Jones comes back, he can always get hurt again or just not do much. By the way, week 2 he did like nothing anyways. So I
right.
maybe you go that way, but then again you have Dobbins, who's awesome right now, but okay,
At Harvey.
Harvey at any moment can really also Dobbins. Like I hate to predict injury. If there
Yeah.
was like a favorite to get hurt next at running back, it's got to be J.K. Dobbins.
Mhm.
I mean, this guy's made of glass. Like, it's been every year, so, I hate to predict it, but I'm factoring that a little bit. In ETN, who knows, in
Yeah.
Dynasty, and especially in Dynasty, who knows? Is he going to get another contract? I have no clue. So,
I think for me with those running backs, it's just like who do I have the most
yeah,
confidence in right now and like moving forward the
that's the
season.
key.
And I would probably rank them Jordan Mason one. I mean, for me, I mean, I'm really not even having to think too hard about that. And then it's kind of a toss up between Travis Etienne and J.K. Dobbins. It's just kind of like pick your flavor there. So
Yeah.
I really don't think the deal makes too much sense. But I don't know. Maybe if we have time later, we could we could even uh, do a screen share and like pull up some kind of like live negotiation. But I don't have any immediate ideas offhand about what I would counter with. I'd have to kind of look deeper into that. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we can do something at some point if we have time today.
Oh, wait, so KO says for sure. Oh, sorry. That was there before. Okay, I was so confused for a second. I thought he said Star Higgins. We already covered that.
Yeah.
And then he also says he has Warren in his flex, which is awesome, by the way. Loving Warren right now, especially full PPR if it is. But yeah, you thought he's a lock. Yeah, I'd say he's a lock. He's been awesome.
Yeah, he's looked good too. I watched a little bit of the Steelers game.
Yeah, just keep him in. Got
He,
more work
he,
in
he
receiving
he
game.
looked like his old self from like 2 years ago, not like last year where he was like banged up and I felt like he didn't look as explosive, but like he looks like the old Jalen Warren. So yeah, I really like Jalen Warren. I wish I owned him somewhere.
Yeah, I mean that's a guy that like last year I was in on. Actually, we made an infamous. I forgot about this like for a very long time. An infamous deal, at least for me, of just getting rinsed from you and Bums and Ball Knowers. Hey, never wrong, just late.
Yeah.
But I gave you Chase Brown and like whatever 2/4
Oh,
to upgrade to Jalen Warren, and then he had that hamstring, a brutal year, and I'm like, okay, obviously, I mean, God, I mean, you'd have to add a first on to Warren to get to Chase Brown this offseason. I think I'd rather have Jalen Warren without a doubt now. I just traded Chase
crazy.
Brown for Javonte Williams, so I mean, it's just crazy how it's a good reminder of running backs and why I'm always skeptical of any running back worth a first that's not like named Christian McCaffrey or I guess a younger Derrick Henry that's not 32 years old or whatever,
Mm.
or Saquon. Like it's in Dynasty, you're better off being I don't know cheaper on these running backs and being very very skeptical
Yeah.
than I guess the other option there. So
And also, Blake, while you were gone, I discussed Trey Tucker quite a bit. So, do you want to just give us like your quick take on him in terms of like what the heck do you make of him? I mean, he does have 17 targets the past 2 weeks, even though he's only had like the one actual truly big game with the 8 catches, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, I'm assuming you don't own any of him. So, is this someone you're trying to kind of I guess like buy high on, but like from a manager who thinks like, okay, I'm just going to sell high on this guy and he's like nothing. And,
yeah.
I mean, are you open to the idea of Trey Tucker being something? Like, could he be the new Tyler Lockett for Geno
I
Smith?
I asked Seb before the thing. I said there's one league very specifically where hey, like if I mean we could do probably worse than Trey Tucker. I think we have. I mean, I probably wouldn't want to get him if we had like Diami Brown and stuff available because they're all kind of the same guy, different font. But yeah, I mean, like, look, my initial reaction is Trey Tucker's he's probably like Troy Franklin last week. He's probably like the guy the week before. There's always a guy each week that goes off. I don't think
Yeah.
he scored 40 points on accident though. I don't think it's complete fluke. That's an amazing game. But with that being said, I mean, then you have the rookie. You actually have two rookies. Expect to get more work week by week, and Bash and Thornton. So yeah, I don't really know what to make of them. I think it's dangerous to just assume I'll trade them, for whatever 28 fourth, which yeah, you couldn't even have got that for him, a week ago.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you would not pay like a late third for him.
I mean, I wouldn't like completely hate. I wouldn't want to do that though. I'd want to approach him a different way than just like sending a third. If you did that for like every player, if I gave people advice to say go trade a third for Franklin last, like dude, you're gonna have. You better hope one of them hit big, otherwise you're not gonna have any picks in any league. I think it's a very dangerous game. Uh,
I'm probably a little more willing to throw them around just because I acquire so many picks that like I can afford to like take a gamble because like, oh, I got like 5/3. So like, okay, maybe I'll just sort of like for
but
fun, like just roll the dice on a Trey
yeah,
Tucker here. Right? But
but
generally, yeah, it's not generally what I would advise. But in this specific instance, like, I don't know, like I do just kind of like this weird feeling that there might be more to this than not.
no, I do agree. That's why I'm like at least somewhat interested in actually getting him, and I think that like I mean he's been nothing for fantasy like ever, so it's like kind of one of those ones where what if he just I don't like what if there is something there? I don't think you've seen anything near 40 points.
Although he's
Is
got a great matchup this week, home against the
yeah
Bears. I mean, like, can you
okay.
imagine if he puts up another like 100 yards and like 2 touchdowns kind of thing? It's like, holy cow! Like, you could probably get like a second for him. If you even just wanted to flip him next week. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
tempting to
Yeah, I
just
mean
pay up.
that would be awesome. I guess like Trey Tucker's like one of the like I mean if there's one of those guys where you just like don't care about the matchup though, it's Trey Tucker. Like
Sure,
maybe
sure.
like a bad matchup's almost a good thing for him or whatever, because they're gonna throw it more and they gotta take. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous to just like completely fade him. I think I picked him up in a deeper redraft league just to get him
Okay.
on the bench. If he does nothing, I'm cutting him.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
mean, if you can get him off waivers, I mean, we usually we don't give a lot of like we don't give a lot of advice in terms of like how to spend like your fab and like your redraft league on waivers and everything like that. So I mean, we won't get like too deep into that, but just offhand, if you're in a shallow redraft league, 100 fab, I mean, would you throw like 20 of your $100 on like a Trey Tucker?
no, we didn't. We threw like $9 or something
Nine.
on him.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there wasn't even like
Yeah.
any bids
Okay.
on him, and it's
Okay.
there was maybe like a couple bucks, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I like we just kind of just took a swing. I wouldn't throw 20 on him in a hundred.
Yeah, but if you can get them for like 10% or less, like I'd be willing to just roll the dice,
Yeah,
especially if you need some receiver help. Or, I mean, and honestly, I've done well in redraft in general in terms of like when there's like a certain player that like goes off in a week and everyone just thinks like, oh, this is a complete fluke, but I can just like get him for free. And it's like, a lot of times it ends up not being a fluke, even in those cases where you just think, oh, that's 100% just a complete fluke. So yeah, if you can kind of just get him for nothing off of waivers, like I would absolutely stash him in any redraft league if you can find room for him.
yeah, and like it just doesn't matter if you're wrong. You can just
You
drop
missed,
him
you caught
next
him
week.
exactly.
I've done that like 3 times in a league already, and it's like, all right, well, hey, we hit on Burden, so we get to keep him or trade him now. But if he didn't do anything, maybe we would have dropped him for Trey Tucker or something.
Yeah. You want to move to Rondé Gaston though, because he's a guy I'm really excited to talk about. We almost put him on the thumbnail, and yeah, I mean, Rondé Gaston is my most owned player in Dynasty. I believe I had 11 shares prior to this trade that I just made, minutes ago, basically, in our listener league, and yeah, basically here I'll actually. Do you want to do a screen share and like pull up that trade just so people have something to look at, maybe, or?
Let's see. Let's try to screen share.
Yeah, I'll just start talking about it while you're pulling that up. But yeah, basically, I sent a Rondé Gaston to Jacob, who's been on been on the live streams before. Anyone that's been watching the channel knows Jacob. And so I sent him a Rondé Gaston, and I got back in the trade a second and 27, a third and 26, and then thrown in I got Luke Schoonmaker, Jalen Lane, the Commanders receiver, as well as Amari DeMercado, the new RB2 in Arizona, hopefully. So yeah, I'll just kind of like throw in players there. And just to get everyone the scoring settings that's not familiar with our listener league, it is 12 teams, start 11 players. Yeah, no kicker or defense or anything like that, of course. Yeah, you usually don't see that in too many dynasty leagues. So it's a deeper league. You're starting 11 offensive players each week. It's a full PPR. The tight end premium is 0.75. So tight ends are getting 1.75 PPR. And we also have like a big play bonus, I think, for what is it, like 40-yard touchdowns or something like that. And it's a super flex league. So pretty typical, like deeper dynasty league. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Blake? What do you think of this deal? I mean, Jacob's going all in on Gadsden here. I mean, I could see either side of this, like winning the deal. I mean, you know how much I love Gadsden, and just kind of bring everyone up to date that didn't see what Gadsden did this past week. He was home against the Broncos. He only played 26% of the snaps, and it was notable that Will Dissly was out that game. Gadsden still only played 26% of the snaps, but on those limited snaps, he managed to earn 7 targets, caught 5 of them for 46 yards. And that was good for over 13 fantasy points in this tight end premium scoring. So that was very encouraging to see. I mean, I'm feeling great about my, 11, now 10 shares of Gadsden in Dynasty. I'm feeling very good about that. And we just saw a tweet from Underdog Fantasy that quoted basically Jim Harbaugh saying that Oronde Gadsden has earned more playing time moving forward.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Gadsden, and specifically, well, why don't we start with this trade first?
Yeah, and then in that quote too, I mean, certainly, I mean, yeah, you got to expect that was coming, because if he didn't earn more playing time, at least like what the quote would be is, well, if he didn't earn it, he'd be a healthy scratch when Disley's back. So you wouldn't want to not hear that. So that's very, very good to hear. But yeah, I mean, Gadsden, like, I mean, he's a guy that we were really interested in. He just looks good on to the eye test. He actually had great college production, and I'll never forget someone, maybe it was Jacob, said like, that's the most random name generator name ever.
Right.
Maybe I said, I don't even remember. One of us said that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which I was like, yeah, who the hell is that guy when he got drafted in the rookie draft for the
first
time?
I mean, he's got the NFL bloodlines there. His dad played in the NFL, I believe, by the same name. So yeah.
Yeah. And Michael Hart has joined as well as Jacob. So welcome in, Michael. And Michael, yeah, let us know. We had to have answered start sit for you guys last
yeah,
week,
let us know how we did
last week. So
yeah, Michael's asking. I don't know if we want to get off topic here, but Michael's asking, what's the dilemma with Cam Skattebo? Nada, Skat to the moon. Hey, let's go. I mean, like, yeah, Blake and I have been big Skattebo fans from the start, and so yeah, we're pretty excited about what we're seeing here. Yeah, I agree. It does feel like Skattebo to the moon right now.
Yeah, Skattebo to the moon. But I just pointed out basically at the beginning, if you ever want to go watch it back and rewatch that, I just said I'm concerned about Dart coming in, but it might not be as bad as maybe I'm envisioning it. But I would have rather have seen
Russell Wilson,
check down Charlie,
quarter running backs.
Exactly, and hopefully, keep drives going. They've at least been scoring some points, and the
possibility of Tracy coming back in like a couple weeks or so.
Exactly,
and
Tracy coming back.
Backfield split look like so. Basically the dilemma is just like, what do you do with Skattebo and Dynasty? I mean, I think if you're a rebuilder, I'd be fine cashing him out for like any first, or at least 26, 26 first, maybe 27. Probably, I like to have it, sooner. I don't put too much into like, oh, well, the 27 class is better or whatever. I just take like the sooner first.
Yeah.
Because I can always like flip that on the clock, probably for like a 27 first plus something. So that's kind of Blake and I's philosophy with that. We'll always take the earlier first, pretty much no matter what. So it's like, what do you do with them in Dynasty? I mean, we also talk about scenarios like, you add a little something to Skattebo to get to like a Josh Jacobs or something like that, buying low on him. But I mean, I'm perfectly fine if you have Skattebo, as long as you're contending. Like, just enjoy the ride. Like,
redraft redraft. I'm just by the way, I'm just like buying him or just holding him. So yeah, I want to be clear. I'm probably not selling him in redraft. I don't know what kind of deal, unless you get really creative and get a very obvious deal for him. But also
the question in Dynasty is like, has his value reached its peak? Like, is this like the best time to sell Skattebo, or could his value continue to go up if he's like crushing it these next couple of weeks? So I still think there is room for it to go up, 100%. But I wouldn't blame someone, especially if they're a rebuilder, just if they can cash out for like a 26 first now, certainly wouldn't blame them.
Certainly hasn't peaked, but peaking in performance on Sunday or on Monday Night Football versus the Chiefs in prime time is that's like the ultimate sell high also in Dynasty, and people like Skattebo. So, and also, by the way, KO, before we get back to the Gadsden trade, said Bears or Raiders, who wins? I'll take the Bears. I think I said the Cowboys last week, so I got to go with the Bears this time.
Yeah. So wait, the Bears are playing the Seahawks, right?
They're playing the Raiders.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah. Wait, why did I think that? Because wait.
Here. He just asked it in the question.
Well, I know, but like, people could be wrong, right? I thought, because weren't we just talking about Trey Tucker?
You just told me a second ago, Trey Tucker.
I'm getting myself confused. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Bears versus Raiders. Yeah, so the game is in it's in
Probably
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
That's a tough one. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think, Blake? Like, are you buying like what we saw from the Bears in Week 3?
Yeah, I'll take the Bears. I'm not overthinking.
Yeah,
I got proven wrong last time, and I think the
I'll
Raiders'
play
defense is.
contrarian. I'll
Yep.
say the Raiders. They're at home. The Bears got to travel across the country, so yeah, I'll lean Raiders. But I think that should be a fun game. Hopefully, it's like a real high scoring game.
Yeah, I hope so for fantasy. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
But sorry, yeah, back to the
yeah,
Gadsden
Gaston.
trade real quick. But yeah, I mean, I forget what I was even saying. I was like, yeah, I mean, signs are pointing out for Gadsden. He's like such an obvious buy-in dynasty right now. The trick is with a player like this. This is one of the more tricky ones where it's like, hey, like random ass like fifth round prospect, but we like him. We think he's better than that. But it's like, how do you get him? So I'm trying to get really creative where he's just like not at all a focal point in the deal when I'm trading for him. I'm not trying to do, I guess, like what Jacob did here. And I don't think it's like an awful trade or anything, by the way. I just think that like you just you're probably better off not buying Gadsden off like Dan or something, or you're probably
Right,
better off not buying Gadsden from Jacob. And I've learned that from especially from Jacob because he owns so many awesome players that I want. I
right,
might as well not even sign an offer because he won't even like sell them to me, and
right.
I'll probably have better luck going to like another manager that's just like going to be more willing to I don't know like trade them. So
Mhm.
for that reason, like I would say, yeah, you get this is as good as you can ask for Gadsden right now. I don't really know how you can get more than that for Gadsden. But again,
Yeah,
I mean, in 1 week from now or in a month from now, you might wish you still had him. In your context, I already know you own a million Gadsden, like near 100%. It feels like so.
yeah,
I think it's like very easy to move off a couple Gadstons if you get
yeah,
this return and just kind of hedge a little bit across your portfolio.
yeah. Exactly.
So it's
Yeah,
it's it's an interesting deal. Yeah, I would not like pay that personally just this week, and also because hey, if Disley comes up back and play and is healthy,
yeah.
well, I think the easiest way to put it is just Gadsden's not going to put up the stat line he did this week. Next week, likely would be my guess. I mean, that's a really, really impressive stat line.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
considering
wouldn't even
like
expect that from like you don't even know if like friggin' Bowers can do that next week.
I
Like
mean, I mean, yeah. To me, it's crazy that he earned 7 targets on 26% of the snaps. Like that's
yeah.
nuts. So, yeah. I mean, you can't expect that kind of. I mean, that has to be like an absurd like targets per route run and yards per route
Oh my
run.
God, yeah, that would be
Um,
like
so yeah, I can understand why Jacob would be in after seeing a
absolutely.
stat line like that. I can only imagine what the metrics would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Gaston is really exciting. I mean, I'm feeling great about my even 10 shares left at this point. So yeah, I figured as a portfolio move, might as well just like move off of a share, maybe even another if I'm getting offers like this. And I don't even think it's crazy by Jacob. I mean, in a tight end premium of 0.75, I think Gatson is really exciting to own. And I could see him being worth like basically what Harold Fannin is like, in the next few weeks here at some point. And so it's possible Jacob looks back and thinks, hey, like, I bought him on the way up, but like he continued going up. And looking back, I actually got him at a pretty good price. Even
Yeah.
got him at a discount compared to like maybe in heavy tight end premium leagues like this. It gets to the point soon where you have to like pay a first for him. So I was fine cashing out a share. I mean, I think I drafted him at like the 309 in the rookie draft. So I get the third back, I get a second, and I get just kind of three fun throwing players. I mean, I'm not expecting like a ton from any of, Schoonmaker and Jalen Lane and Demercado, but who knows? Like maybe one of them helps me at some point. I'm kind of like the classic like 1 foot in, 1 foot out in this in the listener league in terms of like contending. So I mean I have 3 firsts and 26. Oddly, I don't even have my own, but I have 3 other firsts tied to other people, and I'm 3-3 right now because we have the median scoring. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a good deal. Gain some more picks, get some fun throw-ins that might help me, and I'll see what happens. And if I don't end up contending, I'm going to be set up pretty well for the future.
Yeah, I certainly understand the deal from Jacob's perspective. By the way, because I always just like throwing things left and right for Jacob to get Fannin off him, and like
Yeah.
I know it's stupid. I want Fannin though. I mean, here's the thing: I don't know it's even stupider to buy it off Jacob because I know how much he loves Fannin too. So like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that like he's like rejected my offers, and we can just like I mean, okay, he's not gonna break the record every week, and I can go have opportunities in like other leagues to go buy him. So I mean, I think that's like, I'm at least gonna learn from that a little bit here and be like, okay, I think it's more likely that on a guy like Gadsden, if you just have the patience on 1 week, more likely than not, you're just gonna have a window to buy him. It'll just be more accessible. The owner will be more willing to sell him.
Mhm.
There's always a chance though that he just is awesome again. So I mean,
Yeah, and we got Jacob in the chat here. He says Gadsden elite. Oh, I'm sorry, Gadsden elite analytics in college too. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, I didn't specifically look at his like metrics in college, but the production was phenomenal. So I'm certainly not surprised to hear that. Yeah, I mean, just everything about Gadsden is awesome. I mean, really, the only thing that he doesn't have going for him is just the fact that he wasn't taken until the 5th round of the NFL draft. Like that's kind of the only strike against him. But like, it seems like I don't remember what his RAS score is, but I believe he's like fairly athletic, and the production was awesome. Going to a pretty good situation, obviously in the Chargers, and like that offense has just been on fire. So he checks a lot of boxes, and we're already seeing him start to pay off. So I mean, tight ends often develop pretty slowly in the NFL. So for Gadsden to just get the most limited opportunity finally in a game, and that's what he does with it, like that is very, very encouraging. So like,
yeah, I mean, if that's the guy you want to buy into,
if you can buy Gadsden for like a fake second, 100% I'd be willing to do that. So like a third and a throw in, even like 2/3. If the tight end premium is like 0.5 or higher, I would give 2/3. I'd give like third and a throw in. I would absolutely be trying to buy Gadsden right now before the window shuts.
Yeah, I mean, I've basically been like, I've been sending out a couple, especially in a league where I was like, okay, it's a nice tight end premium. Like, that's especially where I want him. Where if it's a half premium, I'm, on any tight end, like, I'm just less, like, inspired to, I'll just keep my Hunter Henry, whatever. And then I guess, like, take shots at, like, different, like, running back receivers. But when you're talking about these, like, 2 PPRs, like, these guys like Gadsden's are, like, you really, really want them on your team. This is a 0.75 premium, which is awesome. But. Yeah.
Here's the real question this week though, because I mean this is the dilemma I'm facing, like in pretty much like almost like every one of my dynasty leagues. Do I elevate Gadsden from the taxi squad if I'm kind of scrambling for one of my last flex spots? I mean, most of my leagues are tight end premium, so like I'm trying to figure out like what the line would be exactly. But like if I'm starting like a Parker Washington who had like 11 targets last week.
Him. I'd start Washington. I think he's gonna be a really like sneaky play this week.
What would the line be? How about like Jonnu Smith, like in the listener league? Obviously, I just traded away Gadsden, but let's just say for fun, and a same scoring 0.75 tight end premium. If I'm choosing between like Jonnu Smith against your Vikings or Gadsden, let's say like Disley's out again, and would you? If you're a little suspect with like your last flex spot, are you elevating Gadsden from taxi?
Here's some insider info right on this one. Last time Jonnu played the Vikings, he had like an 80-yard screen touchdown. So, and it was Arthur Smith as the play caller. So there's some maybe he's like a screen glitch here, and he had a goal line carry that it was like infamous for like they're doing anything but getting Kyle Pitts the ball at the in the end zone. But look, I mean if it's one where it's like okay, it's such an obvious one, put him in. But like, look, if Will Dissly's back in, like, and he just played 26% of snaps with Will Dissly out, it's one of those weird ones because he can still take a step. Like, we just don't know. I think is the answer of like what the hell is gonna happen. But if Will Dissly's out, I could certainly see you like put him in there. I mean, geez, he just would outscore Johnny on a low snap share, so I don't think that's crazy at all. But if Disley is there, I'm waiting a week and I'm just playing Jonnu.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thought is that if it's close between Gadsden on your taxi and like like a Jonnu type or whatever, I'd probably just like lean toward like not having to make the taxi squad elevation because then you got to cut someone. So I guess it depends. I mean, if you have someone you can like easily cut and you really think Gadsden's the better start, feel free. But I really value like every single roster spot, as you know, Blake. So. Yeah. If it's close, I'm just going to lean toward not having to make the taxi squad elevation. But if he has another week like this and it just seems like that genie's out of the bottle, I'll be elevating him sooner than later in most of my leagues. So let's catch up on the chat here. So let's see. We have Michael Hart saying, I'm benching Genty for Hampton and Skattebo this week. Yeah, I don't think it's crazy at this point. I mean, I feel like we kind of have to see it from Genty. I mean, it depends on your other options, of course. But yeah, if you have Hampton who's coming off the huge week, Skattebo coming off the huge week, Yeah, I really don't blame you at all there. And
Yeah,
then yeah, Michael
hey,
Carr also points out that the Raiders' O line is the worst. That's what I've been hearing. I mean, I really think that's probably a lot to blame for why Genty hasn't been doing much.
yeah, he's been hit behind the line of scrimmage in like more than half his carries, so
Yes, I heard a stat
it's
about
been
that. That he's
very
like his yards before contact are like negative yards.
yeah.
So basically, just getting absolutely atrocious blocking.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not like too panicked on him, but it's not what exactly you want to see.
Yeah,
Especially for like redraft or whatever. But
sure.
yeah, I mean, Josh and I are gonna start Skattebo over Genty as of right now. So I mean, maybe Genty
You're,
makes
you're
the
not even you're not even gonna have Genty in your flex then, is what you're saying.
I we don't plan on it. I don't think. I
Oh,
mean, he
okay.
might get in there because we're like, okay, well, we gotta play Genty.
That's even in a start 11
That's just
dynasty
start
league, right?
11. Yeah,
That's kind of an indictment, at least in the for the moment.
at least
Not
for this week. Yeah.
we believe in Genty as a player and everything, and hopefully that offensive line figures it out. But certainly not what you want to see.
Yeah, at least for this week, it's really going to be week to. I mean, hey, Hampton, I was saying like, unless you're starting him over, like, unless you're choosing from another rookie running back, you're
Mhm.
basically going to want to start or sit Hampton like just about every
Right.
time if possible, and
Until
then
he
he
kind of
has
earns his way into the lineup, which
which
he
then he
now
did.
has done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, with an injury and a good game, but. Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't feel good, but you got to do what's best for your team, though. So
Yeah, and Michael says that he's keeping Nico Collins, Abuka, and Tet in his starting lineup instead of flexing Genty. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd have to agree with that. I mean, Tet was added to the injury report, but yeah, as long as there's no issue there, I think Nico Collins is as well. But yeah, assuming all those guys are healthy, yeah, I think I'd start all of them over Genty, assuming it's a
yeah,
full PPR. How about you, Blake?
yeah, this week, 100.
Yeah,
percent And again, I mean, that's been what I keep saying is
and
hopefully
yeah,
these guys prove you wrong. you
yeah,
know,
and Michael says, never thought I'd be benching my first rounder by week 4. I mean, it's just like he's like the Marv of this year. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we both love
exactly.
Genty, but we both kind of felt like it's probably just best to fade any of the rookies that are going like crazy high in redraft because like it's just hard for that to pay off because even if they end up being good later in the season, they probably have killed you for like the first half of the season, and you're probably like missing your playoffs if you kept starting them every week.
Yeah, I am still pro like drafting the Hampton or Henderson as long as you get them in like round 3 or later. I think that's like the threshold. I am not drafting a rookie. In fact, I don't know if I was talking with you or who I was talking with. Maybe someone that I was co-drafting with.
Mm.
Maybe my like co-managed redraft league. I just told him, hey, I'm drafting every single round 2 running back ahead of Genty, and then until you get into basically. I would take Genty ahead of that James Cook, but that would probably be right where the threshold was, right in that 2-3 turn, and you'll never get him there. So,
James Cook has been like unbelievable. So like
yeah,
even
and I should exactly. You shouldn't even have taken him over James Cook.
exactly like that wasn't even far enough. So it just goes to show you.
Exactly. So I mean, I think the rule of thumb, just in general, and yeah, and I had, so my uncle, I was supposed to help him draft a team. I like ended up drafting the second half of his team because I
Mm.
managed it for his like work league, but he
Mm.
had some like technical issue on like sleeper on desktop, and he couldn't make a pick, or else he was like, he I don't know what was going on. He ended up picking in a 10 team league Genty on the round 1 turn, and I'm like, oh boy, like here we go. So, I mean, my rule of thumb now for I think Marv's is and now Genty are it doesn't matter if Genty is amazing, Dan. If Genty is a league winner the rest of the season, he was still a bad pick. Just given you could trade something way worse than Genty for Genty right now. I think that is
Exactly.
again. I know trades are not easy, but
Yeah.
dude, if you're giving someone scoring more points than Genty right now, they're probably gonna accept it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't think of like playing the market and redraft, but you really can. And plus, it's just good to get off to a hot start anyway. So that's why I really prioritize that so much in redraft. Like when I'm on the clock and picking between like 2 or 3 players, trying to make a decision, I'm thinking like, who's going to start the season hot? And it's usually
Yeah.
not going to be a rookie.
Also a great like again. It's how I kind of play Dynasty with players. Again, it's not like hey like Genty could pay off his value, but like dude, he's got to be so good to pay that value off from day one. You're probably just getting a fair price on him anyways.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get a value on these rookies. That's the whole point of drafting them. Is they're awesome and they're cheap. Again, hey, I'd rather have Hampton and Henderson way down the board. It's way cheaper price, way less opportunity cost. And then
Or
hey,
Skattebo and
and
Tootin, like in the
then
mid rounds or whatever, you're getting
exactly,
them.
and then you have Judkins way down. So like you
Oh,
just
yeah.
gotta like yeah. I think that's one where it's like okay, I can justify Genty here, but then really you go down the board and you realize, holy crap, do I want Genty or do I want Judkins in round whatever 12 or for free? So it's a
Yeah,
good
so,
lesson.
yeah, get James Cook early, get the veteran, and then get
Yep.
Judkins later. And obviously, it's easy to say now with retrospect in terms of like picking the perfect ones, but
Yeah.
even in general, even if you don't make like the optimal selection, I think that general rule of thumb is going to guide you,
I
in the right direction.
I go as far to say is like basically until you get into the 20s, you like rookies should just like not go, even if they're
Off your
generational.
board. Yeah, off your board.
Virtually, like I think in like late round 2 they can definitely pay off, even
Yeah.
with a little bit of slow start. Hey neighbors, off to a hot start last year, but I mean
Yeah.
that's just gonna be one in every so many. So
Yeah. Also, Michael and KO Kingdom are talking a little bit about this Bears Raiders game, and kind of the funny thing about it that they're pointing out is that the Bears D is so bad, as Michael points out, but on the other hand, the Raiders offensive line is so terrible. So
oh
it's kind of like something's got to give here, like in a good way, right? You have like a terrible defense against like a terrible offensive line. So I don't know, maybe this could be the week where Genty finally gets going. I think any Genty owner would be happy to see that, even if it's on their bench.
yeah, exactly. I mean I think this could be a good week. I'm actually trying to buy Genty in a redraft, by the way, and like we're just thinking of sending. I mean I didn't even think this was like insane. I think it was like we'll send him. Well, I was saying, okay, we could just send him JMO, or we'll send him like Jennings, and like one of these like intriguing running backs are just an injury away, which sounds crazy, and it is crazy. I don't think they would accept it, but the context was he has Genty on his bench for four other running backs, and it's like for Skattebo, it's for Judkins, so he can't even start Genty, and he's in last place. So it's like, hey, he needs a receiver help. Let's go give him either Burden or Jennings or both, or let's give him one of those guys and a Gordon or someone.
Oh,
What he marks, just
exactly.
like, hey, give us your bench running back. We'll take
Yeah.
him off your hands.
Hey, I love that. I mean, if you can get that done, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, I mean he's not starting him, so I gotta think. Come on, man, you're in last place. Make a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Michael also says, my friend's a big fan. We watched the Raiders' whole game last week at the bar. They are bad in all capital letters. So, yeah, not what I want to hear as a guy who owns a couple of Genty shares. But certainly, I mean, Geno's been good though. So it's really just the offensive line and the running game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how the Raiders' defense has been. I don't know if that's been that great or whatever, but it should be an interesting game. Hopefully, we get some points scored, and hopefully, Genty gets going.
Yeah.
And let's see, do you have anything else to catch up on here? Seb says the listener league is mine. Okay. Hey, Seb is off to a great start. I believe he's undefeated, isn't he?
Yeah, me, Seb, and Chase are undefeated right now. We're running the league, which is good to see. And hey,
I mean,
Chase has been a big shocker there.
Oh yeah, Chase has been a big surprise. So yeah, credit to him. And I believe Seb has both like James Cook and Jonathan Taylor. So I mean, man, like are those like the running backs like 1 and 2 right now? I mean, talk about a sick running back pair right there. I mean, we thought that Randy and Reed had the Salamanca twins and Bijan and Gibbs, but hey, like Seb might have the new Salamanca twins and James Cook and JT.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean through 3 weeks, yeah, you're gonna be in first place if you have those two guys. It doesn't really matter who's around them. So
Yeah,
I mean, hey, dude, great start to
yeah.
to your
And
season.
for anyone confused, there's kind of like an unofficial Breaking Bad theme in the listener league, and so Randy and Reed named their team the Salamanca twins, and their team avatar is like Bijan Robinson and Jameer Gibbs dressed up to look like the Salamanca twins from Breaking Bad. So yeah, just in case anyone was confused about my comment there.
I'm loving these these AI chat GPT, like you
Team
can get
avatars.
a lot of stuff going on there. I'm disappointed. I had at least I have it in my other redraft league where I have Pearsall, where it was the get open or die trying team name.
Oh yeah,
Thanks to Chat GPT. I wish I came up with them. I knew there was like going to be obviously an awesome one with around 50 cent there. That one was so obvious.
yeah.
And I actually ended up posting that one on Twitter to like some team name thing. I never like do that. And then
Yeah.
people were just like loving it. There was bookmarks left and right. It had like 100 likes, and
Oh,
it was like it was like of all the things, it was like their favorite team name. So hopefully I've inspired some people out there to some Ricky
yeah.
Pearsall.
Yeah, a lot of people have been doing that, and like I'm amazed at the hilarious
I
team
love
avatar
Jacobs.
Jacobs.
It's Tank Schrader.
Oh yeah, yeah. We should go through sometime and like, is there an easy way to like show it through the screen share? Can you like, I don't know if there's a way to like click on the picture and make it bigger, but it'd be fun to like,
Yeah, I
show
don't
some
know
of the
about
best
that.
ones at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe there's like a way on my phone to do it for like another stream, but
Yeah, maybe for the next stream, like maybe we could like save them and then like put them in like a DM on Sleeper and then screen share. So yeah, we'll have to do that at some point. But yeah, a lot of really fun team avatars out there that we've seen, and yeah, we have some of them ourselves for our teams. So
yeah,
that's definitely been a lot of fun. We should probably we forgot to mention at the beginning of the stream, but we are finally doing our review of Vanilla Sky, the 2001 film for our film club. So we should probably do that soon, depending on like how late we're willing to go to bed here. But was there any like last player that we really wanted to talk about? I know we had Torrey Horton on our list. Do we want to hit him real quick, or is there anyone else that you really were dying to get to?
There's so many.
Yeah.
If we can, do you want to just try to stream tomorrow before the game or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
works out.
I think I'd be open to doing that.
Yeah, I think that works out for me. I can't guarantee it.
Okay.
We may have to go a little bit earlier if we want to make it work, kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be 50-50 for me, but it would be nice if we could cover it, or maybe like doing it during. I don't know. Maybe we still make it happen during the game if we can, or a halftime or something like that. But it would be nice to get another streaming because there's still so many guys to talk about.
Right.
Because I'd rather I'd rather hang this up sooner than later here and get in Vanilla Sky.
Okay, but do we have time for the film review if we get to that?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that right now.
Okay. Yeah. So just to catch, fill anyone in that isn't familiar with our film club, it's just kind of something fun that we decided to start. Blake and I both really love movies. So yeah, we just kind of thought it'd be a fun thing to have as part of the YouTube channel and the listener league. So basically the concept is like we just pick like a movie like every like week or two. It was like every week during the season when we started it. Now it's going to be like every like 2 weeks or so during the season since like we're a little busier. So yeah, we started out with The Truman Show, and then we did There Will Be Blood, and then we did unfortunately Happy Gilmore 2. That was a bust. And then now we are on Vanilla Sky. So let's jump into it. I'm going to pull up some notes that I made for it as well, because definitely got some things to talk about with this one.
Let me hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me just tell you. So I watched 3 movies in the same night. I mean, my one friend and I will just get like hammered every once in a while, and just like dial in, watch the movies. It's an awesome time, and it was not because I drank too much or anything. I genuinely threw up watching Vanilla Sky, like seriously, because of just like how psychologically like uncomfortable and unnatural it was like later in the movie. That like I genuinely was like, okay, I gotta stop. I don't feel well at all. I felt like I was dying. Like it was like,
oh my god,
it was not like I felt fine moments before. I was just sitting there and I was just like, it was something so unnatural about. I even almost like forget exactly. I know what part it was. When it was like you're knowing about all the I don't want to spoil it for people. If you
I think we'll probably we can't review the movie.
Yeah. If you guys want to watch,
if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to, this would be the time to pause the stream, watch the movie, come back to it later. But feel free to spoil.
Yeah, once you're understanding, it's like this whole like lucid dream thing, and your mind. I'm trying to wrap my mind about just to the extent of how crazy that is and everything that's going on and. I mean, I was just like, oh, I think I would be sick. Like, so
that's interesting. I do think it speaks to, like there are some intense parts in the movie where it just like, it really does grip you. And like, maybe that's even in like a negative way, as was your experience. I feel like I'm more the type that like, I'm kind of like willing to go on that emotional journey, even if it's like a little uncomfortable at times, but it's just kind of fun to be like taken through a number of these different emotions, even if it is kind of intense.
I mean, I agree. My body did not agree with it though. Like I'm 100% with you. By the way, I actually missed time because he didn't pause it, but then he told me like that I missed something. So I missed something in the end when he's like, yeah, like it was all like it was the best part. But by the time I came back, like I couldn't see that. So maybe I gotta rewatch that, or I definitely have to rewatch that part. But so I
Okay, I
can't like
mean,
speak. It was only like 5 minutes or something like that.
okay, so it wasn't too much. I was gonna say like
Yeah.
if it was that big of a chunk that you missed, you could always we could always do this, do the full review another time. But are we still good to do the review here?
I saw it. That movie felt like it was about 4 hours. To me,
Oh my
it
God.
was.
Wow. Hey, I'm definitely disappointed to hear that you did enjoy it. I mean, I'm gonna
I,
feel weird now saying like,
I
how
didn't
much of
say I
it.
didn't enjoy it. Don't hear what I'm not
Oh,
saying.
okay.
I was just like I didn't know what to think. I mean, it was I'd have to rewatch that again. I mean, that is just, especially not seeing the ending. I will
Right.
just say in general. I mean, especially on first watch. I think on first watch I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Right.
this is we right from the beginning. By the way, it was not like we were like, why did we click on this? Like, why did we? Like, that was actually what my friend said. I didn't even explain to him. Like, we have to watch this movie. We were scrolling
Right.
on Netflix. I'm like, oh my god, they have it on here. Like, I didn't even
Oh,
know.
nice.
And
I didn't
he's
realize
like,
that.
what are you making me watch? Because it's there's whispering from the
Yeah.
sky, and we're like, okay, what are we?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I mean, it's definitely a weird movie, and I actually, can relate in some sense because I mean, this is almost embarrassing to admit, but I saw this movie in theaters back in 2001, and I absolutely hated it when I first watched it. I just did not like it, didn't really enjoy it. But here was the weird thing about it. After seeing the movie, I found myself like thinking about it a lot.
Mhm.
Like it just like it just stayed on my mind. And I'm like, why is this? I didn't even enjoy it. Like, why am I continuing to like think about this movie? And I just like kept thinking about it, and it just stuck with me so much that I actually felt inspired to like watch it again because it just seemed like there was more there that I hadn't fully like appreciated or maybe even understood or whatever.
Mhm.
Because it is a very confusing movie at times. So I eventually like when it came out on DVD or whatever. It sounds so funny saying this kind of stuff now, but yeah, I watched it again, and upon the second viewing, I absolutely love this movie. In fact, like at that time, it was probably like my favorite movie.
Okay.
I just had like this absolute like fascination with this movie, and it ended up becoming like a very special movie to me. I like definitely like watching it. I actually just watched it last night so we could review it. Hadn't seen it in like like well over a decade probably.
Mhm.
Um, but it definitely like took me back in time. Like the movie like it had a big impact on me. I mean, first of all, like the soundtrack to the movie, I think is absolutely incredible. Probably like my favorite movie soundtrack of all time. Just great, rock and roll, indie rock, some obscure stuff, some stuff that's more well known. But just an outstanding soundtrack. I mean, it had a huge impact on my taste in music. From like Radiohead and even like, really obscure bands like Red House Painters that most people probably don't even know. They also, even in the script, they reference Radiohead. They reference Jeff Buckley, who is also kind of a legendary, singer, kind of like he was a guy that like died early, but he released like one album that's just like phenomenal.
Okay.
So just kind of like a lot of like cool references to like rock and roll and everything like that. There's also like the whole like Bob Dylan thing in it. I don't know if you caught that part at the end. But that's actually like one of the themes of the movie is, and I wrote down the themes of the movie, but just the influence of music, art, and popular culture.
Okay.
Like we see that throughout the movie. And like at the end where they kind of like reveal everything, and it turns out that the main character, David, who's played by Tom Cruise, basically like half of the movie that we saw, like mainly like the second half of the movie, it was all this like lucid dream
Yeah.
where it turned out like David had like basically like killed himself so that he could be like frozen and kind of like almost like Matrix style, like put into this like suspended state where he's like experiencing like his dream life. And it has like a lot of influence from like his favorite music, like a Bob Dylan album cover to Monet painting with Vanilla Sky
Mhm.
in the painting. And a lot of different things from like popular culture, even like movies, sort of giving him an idea of like what love is and what it should
Yeah.
look like. So that's one of the themes of the movie. Other themes that I noticed I think were big in the movie were, and this is something they talk about, is the sweet and sour of life. and I love that because I feel like life is just so bittersweet, and so I love that that's one of the big themes of the movie. Also, of course, like reality versus dreams. I mean, the movie is constantly challenging you with that in terms of like what's real, what's a dream. So I definitely think they do a good job with that. I mean, it's a little like jaunting upon first viewing, but I really think like, I mean, of course, the movie isn't for everyone, but I do think it's the kind of movie you do appreciate a lot more on the second viewing once you kind of
Yeah.
have a better grip of like what the heck is going on.
I haven't watched the second time 100%. The first time, you're just like, what the hell is going on? You know
Yeah.
what's really funny is, I mean, for such a confusing movie, I pretty much nailed what was going on
Oh,
without.
okay.
I mean, not to that extent. I mean, right off the beginning, you can tell. I mean, I don't want to get like too sidetracked here, so maybe keep me on track. But I was just saying from the beginning, where he's driving in the car with his friend. Like, it was just had these like close shots on like people on the side. I'm like, okay, I'm like, something here is like it's either a dream. I was like,
Right.
I basically just that's what I ended up saying. I was like, it's not. It doesn't seem like enough like a hallucination. Like this is a dream. There's not enough people. We're in like
Right.
New York, was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. New York
I'm
City.
like, we're in New York City. I've been in New York City. There's not like two people on the sidewalk. The streets aren't empty. Like this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. And in fact, in that first scene that ends up being a dream, like
yep.
there's no people on
And
the
then
sidewalk.
exactly, it ends
It's
up being
completely empty. And they
yeah.
actually cleared out like that whole it's by like what Times Square. When they filmed that, they actually like blocked off
That yeah.
like the roads and they filmed it with like no people there. Like they didn't
Yeah.
even have to like edit anyone out or anything like that. So that was kind of wild.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I even forgot about that part. I was thinking when he's driving with his friend, picking
Okay.
him up from maybe his apartment or something like that, and
And
his friends
they're
like,
going to play racquetball. Yeah.
yeah, and his friends like, Toady, oh, you're the best. He's like, oh, if only I was like you, whatever. That's all I really kind of remember. I watched this like that must have been like a month ago now.
Yeah. It
But
took us a while to get to the review here.
yeah, there was like a handful of people on the sidewalk, and they were like showing. There was something just very off
Yeah,
about
I
it. It was
remember
very
that.
dreamlike.
Okay.
As well, even beyond the other one that was very clearly dreamlike with
Yeah,
like,
although
no
ironically, like the scene you're describing where they actually showed like just some like random people on the sidewalk and
there was
stuff, that actually was real. So, wasn't
that
a
actually
dream.
was real. Okay, that was giving off. Yeah, that was completely giving off like, especially with those close shots of like,
Yeah.
why are you showing some random person?
Right.
I don't know. So, anyways,
But yeah, I can get into some of my favorite moments from the movie just that I wanted to highlight, and maybe I mean, I don't know, I'm probably not going to be able to convince you that oh yeah, this is a great movie after all, but I really enjoyed it, and I tried to go into the movie with like because like I said, like it's a very nostalgic movie for me. That like had like a big impact on both like my love of music and my taste in music as well as just like my love of film. But I tried to like just look at it with like a fresh eye, and I didn't want to just like enjoy it because like it's a movie I liked when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to look at it objectively, and especially because after hearing that like you didn't really like it that much, I wanted to see like okay, like let me look at it with a fresh eye and see like how does this hold up over time. And I definitely really enjoyed the movie. And I feel like I even gained like a deeper appreciation for why I like the movie so much and like more of a specific way of being able to identify. And I'll just like highlight some of my favorite scenes in the movie, kind of going like chronologically. I just love like the whole flirtation between David, played by Tom Cruise, and Sophia, played by Penelope Cruz. Just this whole kind of flirtatious dance that they did. I really thought that was really well done.
yeah,
I really thought it was like great acting. I feel like they did a lot of acting with their eyes. Like anytime like they were flirting with each other, like their eyes and facial expressions, I feel like were communicating so much. I felt like it really did capture that like feeling of like just meeting someone and having that excitement and everything. So really thought that was well done. And then further along on that storyline, I love when they decided to do draw caricatures of each other in Sophia's apartment, and she draws like a true caricature of David, and then when she sees David, he draws this like it's hard to even describe, but like it wasn't a caricature at all. It just like really showed like her beauty and like her reaction to that. It just really expressed a lot about like how David was feeling about her. So I just thought that was a cool moment. Also, when David's leaving Sophia's apartment in the morning, they put on this Jeff Buckley song "Last Goodbye." I just thought like it just really they did it. I thought the movie did a masterful job of not only having great songs, but just like perfectly matching like each song to the scene in just like an incredible way. So I thought that like that song just really captured that feeling of like excitement of like a new romance and like leaving that first morning after with a new romantic partner. Um, Also another scene I really enjoyed. David when he's running through the like the dark, empty streets of New York, like after the nightclub, and he's kind of like at a low at that point.
I
Um,
would say.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But like I love the song. It's an REM song called "Sweetness Follows," and it just kind of really captured just kind of like I don't know, like the sadness of his life at that point, and like things are kind of like going downhill, but also like this like urge and desire for like something better. He's like almost like chasing after his buddy. I forget his name now, but played by Jason Lee, as well as like Sophia, because like the three of them went to this nightclub, and it was like basically after this car crash that David got in, where his like face is like all screwed up.
That was my I that was the most like comedic but like so darkly just I mean, God, I felt so bad, but my buddy and I, when we see each other now, we keep doing this. By the way,
Yeah.
we keep doing the face where he's like, he's
Oh
like
god.
limping, and by the way, actually, after I threw up, because like
You actually literally
I
throw up?
literally threw up. After I threw up, I came back
Oh my
downstairs.
god.
I literally came downstairs, and I scared the living shit of him because I
Yeah.
came and like you wouldn't even get this bit with my hat, but like you said, whenever we're really watching movies, like my hat's always like it's like off my head, like tilted some way, so I put it like some ridiculous way, and then I started like limping around the corner, like making that face and the
Oh
noise,
my
and
god.
he was freaking out. That is like. If there was something that stuck with them from that movie with me, it's his face getting up in there and being
Yeah.
the biggest creep you've ever seen. And there's like people like that in real life.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I gotta go rewatch that. I mean, it was hilarious and so sad. That was probably like my favorite, but like least favorite. I don't. It was the most memorable part of the
Yeah.
movie for me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, just like I mean, yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen the movie, I mean, you could even do like a Google image search of it. I don't even like how they did this with like makeup and everything like that. But like they make Tom Cruise's like half of his face look like so scarred, and it's like has like this like lopsided look. I mean, he really like looks like a freak after this car accident.
Yeah, and he's like limping
Yeah.
and
He can like barely talk, and he like can't even like smile.
even creepier. He like starts with like a mask on that makes him look
Yeah.
like freaking Hannibal Lecter or like Michael Myers or something. Yeah.
Although that actually hints at another one of my favorite scenes, the scene where Sophia peels off David's mask after he got this surgery, although it actually turned out to be, it was just part of the lucid dream. So this technically never even happened. But one way or another, yeah. So he gets this like special procedure done. And he's like afraid to take it off because he's afraid that like it's not gonna, it didn't turn out right and his face isn't gonna look good. But Sophia, um, like peels it off for him, and she does it in just like such a loving way. And I just thought it was a really beautiful scene. So I mean, honestly, like that's probably like one of my favorite things about the movie. Is just like just the romance between Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. I just thought it was just so well done, so well acted, and I just think it really like captured that feeling of like a new romance. But yet, obviously, there were a lot of tough things in the movie, and his life goes awry when he gets into this car with this
Yeah.
crazy
Which
stalker
was
played by Cameron Diaz, who drives him off a cliff because
that drives
you
him
know,
off like a bridge, isn't it? It's
or a
like
bridge, yeah, drives him off a bridge, and they like crash into like a wall. Um, and But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, really do think like the movie captures so well like the sweet and sour life. Like there are so many like beautiful moments in the film, and there are so many like difficult moments where like um his life is just not going well, and then you have all this stuff where he's not sure like what's real and what's a dream. But you
complete.
really get a lot of both. I mean, it really is kind of an accurate um embodiment of just kind of like what life is. It's just like it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you get a complete 180. Again, like, I'll take your word for it with the second watch. I mean, on the first watch, especially just I mean, you're just trying to figure out what the hell is this movie about, what's going on. So
Yeah.
I don't even remember this taking off the mask. I'm not even looking at any of that stuff. I'm just trying to figure out
Yeah.
what the hell is happening, you know?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And that's
And
why, I mean, I can't even blame you because, like I said, like I really did not like this movie at all when I saw it for the first time, but it just stuck with me. So, I mean, don't feel obligated to watch it again, but I do think if you ever have the urge to just kind of see, like, okay, did I miss something here? Would I appreciate this more in the second viewing? I definitely think you would like it better. But hey, I mean, at the same time, who knows? Like, it's not for everyone. I really loved the movie. I thought it held up very well, and yeah, I mean, there were some powerful scenes in it. I thought there was some really great editing with just some of these like montages that we saw. Um, like during the murder scene, like that's a really intense scene. I mean, it's hard to even describe it. But just like the editing, these really like quick like jump cuts and like flashbacks that you just see for like a split second to like different things. And I don't know, it's hard to describe, but like everything just comes together for like a very powerful scene. Even though it's uncomfortable, it's also just like, I don't know, you feel like you're experiencing it. Thankfully, he didn't actually really commit murder. It was just basically what happened is like this lucid dream turned into a nightmare,
yeah,
and he eventually figured that out and was able to get out of it. And ultimately, at the end of the movie, he chooses to like live in reality and kind of, definitely very kind of like a Matrix
yeah,
type of theme there to it. Also, I was also reminded of the Truman Show a little bit at times. I kind of put like all the movies in sort of like a similar category, where you sort of have this like fake life that like you're living in. And one scene in particular really reminded me of the Truman Show, where basically he's like running out of the life extension office, trying to just like get out of this nightmare that his lucid dream has turned into, and he's just like going crazy, and he's like screaming for like tech support. It reminds me of the Truman Show, where he's like he's like trying to like get out of the town, and he's like getting chased by the guys in like hazmat suits.
yeah,
And so like it was very similar to that. It was just one of those scenes where it's like, okay, I'm glad that the movie isn't like taking itself like too seriously. It's just kind of like, having a little fun and just kind of getting like really, weird and wild.
No, yeah, I can sort of say actually my favorite of the whole part was just like, and it kind of goes to what you were just saying, where it like just doesn't take itself too seriously, but it was also just like so relatable. Was when they're like, you said Jason Lee's that actor. I know he's really
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
He's like, who are them? Like, he's
Yeah.
like, who are they? Like, like they're coming to get you. Ooh,
Yeah,
you know
it's like,
what I mean?
ooh, I'm with them.
Yeah, I'm with
Ooh,
them.
yeah.
I was dying. That was just like so needed at that point in the movie.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
There definitely is some good comic relief in the movie. There are also some like really funny lines, and actually like Jason Lee, like he's one of my favorite characters. I mean, he kind of turns into a dick after David gets in the car accident.
but for good reason of like what we see of just like this guy's a
Yeah, because I
complete.
mean, obviously, like David, like he kind of just becomes this like obviously he's ugly on the outside, but like he kind of becomes this like ugly
Yeah,
character on the inside because he's really struggling to deal with like because he's always been this like rich like incredibly like good looking guy that can get like
yeah,
any woman, and yet his best friend. The character played by Jason Lee is kind of the opposite. He's kind of just like this like real regular, like down to earth guy that like doesn't always get the woman, and he's a writer. I mean, he definitely is like just kind of like a relatable, like everyman's kind of character. But he's got a good sense of humor, and he definitely has some funny lines. I love. Well, actually, the line is said by Tom Cruise.
yeah.
He says it to Jason Lee, and he says, "You're not drunk. You're drinking Jack Daniels. And when you drink Jack, you're starting with that whole Frank Sinatra, she shot me down, give me a cigarette, keep me sad thing." So I love that line. And then later, I think that was later in that same scene, Jason Lee is like, "Yeah, but you're rich and women love you. I'm from Ohio and I'm drunk." So that's just another hilarious line that I love quoting. It always stuck out to me. And just some of the weird lines in the movie too. Like I love the Penelope Cruz character, Sophia. She says, "I'll tell you in another life when we are both cats." So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just such like a
That just flashed me back. Oh my god, oh, we were just dying laughing at that one. We were both
I know,
cats.
right? I mean, like, who
He's
comes up
like,
with that? Like, how do they even write that?
No,
I will
but
tell you another life when we are both cats.
the
So it's just like,
reaction of him, and he's like,
yeah.
going,
Oh yeah, it's like that's
oh.
hilarious.
He's like laughing
Yeah.
at her
Yeah.
face, and it's just like
Yeah.
that was peak. Just like, oh my god, like I like all I could think is like I feel so bad for whoever's life is this Tom Cruise right now. And there's people. I was like
Yeah,
it,
and he gets like so weird with it. He's
because
like,
he,
cat,
yeah, cats. Yeah, but it's funny because
with the
like,
weird face.
yeah, yeah, God.
And you
But
see like Penelope Cruz, she just looks like so horrified.
yeah,
Like, what happened to this guy that I was like starting to fall in love with, like
so
before the whole car accident?
yeah, so uncomfortable. But it's just so funny. It's so sad because it's like, he's well intentioned, and you just get to see that, and that this is to me of just watching a month ago. This is the part that sticks out the most, and at least where I could figure out somewhat what's going on. But and this is just a very easy observation of just like. To me, I really enjoyed the contrast of him being,
Yeah.
the Great Gatsby in the first part with Penelope Cruz, and they're doing the, whatever, they're playing those caricatures of whatever, they're acting out these kind of, oh my god, and I bet this is gonna happen, and that kind of continues those lines that they use. I bet she's right behind you, or
Oh yeah,
staring.
yeah. Red dress, strappy
But
shoes. I think she's
exactly.
the fattest girl to ever hold a martini.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed all that. But then you get to the same girl, and there was one spot where you can really see the snap of the finger of like, oh my god, are we going down this road? Where he follows her like down a street, like in
Oh
broad
yeah.
daylight, and he's like,
Yeah,
dragging his
yeah.
leg and limping, and I'm just like, before that, it was like, especially when I'm watching the first time, I'm like, where's this going? Like, how
Right.
how's he gonna? I mean, yeah, deal with seeing her and with his, and I'm like, oh god, we're going down this route. Like, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it looks weird at first. It's like, oh my god, like, what's he doing? Is he like stalking
Yeah,
her? I mean, obviously he wanted to like go see her, and he ends up like walking into her like
yeah,
dance
Dan.
practice or whatever,
Yeah,
like as it's ending. And so yeah, it wasn't anything like malicious, or ill intentioned or anything like that. But it did kind of
but
like
it was
look weird at the
really
time.
creepy.
But he's just struggling with like he wants to reconnect with this woman that like he was starting to like have this thing for, and it gets cut short because he gets in this random car accident, and he wants to like reemerge and reconnect with her, but he's afraid to do it because how
Yeah,
disfigured he is now. So it really is kind of heartbreaking. And then like the scene when like Penelope Cruz like sees him for the first time with his face and everything like that. I mean, man, like I mean, what a heartbreaking and like sad situation to be in, like on both sides.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he's well intentioned, but it goes so creepy. And
Yeah.
that's the part to me, yeah, from here that sticks out the most, and it's just like the
Yeah, I don't
most
think they intended it
humorous
that
and
way, but I could, yeah, definitely see how it like kind of felt like that.
oh my
Or I don't know,
god.
maybe the film was trying to like kind of just being ambiguous with it. Because the interesting thing that's going on throughout this movie, if it's not confusing enough with like, okay, what's real, what's a dream, and then on top of that all, intersliced throughout the movie are these scenes of the Tom Cruise character David, basically like in a prison,
Yeah,
like in
that's
a
right.
meeting room, like meeting with his lawyer, played by I forget the actor's name now, but
He's in all those what's it called there,
yeah,
Tarantino movies, and yeah.
okay, yeah, well, we could look it up in a moment. Yeah, his name's slipping my mind, but yeah,
I think he
fairly.
just passed recently, or
Oh, did he?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up. But in any case, he's meeting with his lawyer, and basically you find out fairly early in the movie that David Tom Cruise character is charged with murder, and he's like meeting with his. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's not the guy doesn't play his lawyer. It's his psychiatrist who's doing like this like mental evaluation on David, basically like in preparation for the trial, and so you basically know early in the movie, like, okay, like David, has been accused of murdering someone. So we don't know if he actually did it or if he's being falsely accused. And obviously, like David spouting these conspiracy theories of like, he was set up. It was, it was the board. It was the seven dwarves.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, David he runs a publishing house as well as like multiple magazines, and I believe the publishing house his father started it and like passed it down to him, but only 51%, with the other 49% being split between seven board members that David calls the seven dwarves. So yeah, David's convinced that he was like set up by them, and that they like the car accident was like something that they set up so that they could like overtake the company from him, because they were always like jealous that like the nepotism of like the son of the owner, like, taking over everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now that I'm like, you keep bringing things up, I'm like, oh my god, like, I didn't even remember that. There's like
Right.
so much. I mean, yeah. There's
Yeah.
and just from there was a lot in the movie I could certainly see to appreciate, especially looking back. I mean, I also think this movie. I think we concluded after we watched it. We're like, hey, like this is like, Inception. There was another one. We're like this, and I suppose like we're like, okay, this is in the realm of that.
Yeah.
And probably where like Inception was like inspired from,
Uh-huh.
as well as probably The Matrix. But
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, there was a lot of themes in here and stuff that we see in like modern that probably was some inspiration. Um, yeah, it was done in a really strange way. Yeah, I don't even want to give an opinion of whether I enjoyed it or not, because I mean, even as you said, like you didn't even enjoy it the first time. I don't want to
Exactly.
say I didn't not enjoy it. To me, there was like, it was almost like too confusing for my own good, because I appreciate, I
Yeah.
love, it's right up my alley of like these psychological thrillers. There
Right.
was just so much that like
Yeah.
in one watch, like you cannot even fully
Yeah.
comprehend what the hell did, because your mind can only figure out so much and take in so much that like you were just saying something about the first shot of the movie being like I don't know I don't even remember that happened,
Yeah, I
by the
mean,
time I
your
watched
head
it.
is spinning watching this movie, just trying to like figure out everything that's going
Yeah.
on. I mean, I almost forget to what degree that's actually true, because I've seen the movie so many times. Like, even though it had probably been like more than 10 years since I had seen it, but like prior to that, like, I mean, it was one of my favorite movies. Like, I watched it a lot, so I'm very familiar with it. So like, I have a very firm grasp on like what's happening in every scene. But yeah, like thinking back to like, yeah, the first time I watched it, like, yeah, like, I mean, my head was spinning. I was like, what the hell did I just see? Like, what the hell happened there? It's just a lot. So I think it's a very hard movie to appreciate on the first viewing. But I do think it's one of those that definitely, like, once you have a grip on it and you see it the second time, you are able to appreciate a lot of these like beautiful moments throughout the movie. And you even come to appreciate some of the like, difficult, more uncomfortable scenes. You know what I mean? But like, it really takes you through like the full spectrum of emotions. Like I
Yeah.
said, like, it's about the sweet and sour of life, and it gives you plenty of both.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's certainly, to rewatching, I mean, other movies, shows. I mean, in the fifth watch, you can appreciate something that you hadn't seen through the first four watches,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was very, I don't know, overstimulating of just
Yeah.
in every sense of plot, of visual, of,
Yeah.
I mean, it was even hard just to wrap your brain when you did know what was going on,
Right.
of how that's even like, my mind just goes like, what would I do if I'm in that situation? Like how that, I mean,
Right.
my God. And okay, this is the creepiest part, Dan.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this until this very second.
Mhm.
Lucid dreaming, just in general, I've heard about it. I could never really tell you if I ever did it. For the first ever time, this is just the biggest coincidence. This was really freaking me out. I know I had a lucid dream that morning, and that was the freakiest part about it. And I was able to confirm it like somehow by watching that movie of like, holy crap, like, because you get to see this weird lucid dream thing. And what happened, it was so not important at all. There was something to do with like a cottage, and like my family and someone that shouldn't have been there was there. But then there was
Mhm.
another part where it was weird. It wasn't that, like, that was me dreaming of like a real place. But there was one that had a lucid dream of in my bed, and in my head I checked my phone,
Mhm.
and there was a notification or something. It was this very specific text or notification. Or sorry, there was none. There was no notification, I think.
Okay.
And then I went to go check it when I actually woke up, like what felt like a moment later or moments
Right.
later. And there was, whatever, notifications or texts that weren't there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, and these are from
Ah,
hours ago. And so I'm like, I know I checked that.
right. Oh,
I know
wow.
I just checked that. So, anyways, it was the weirdest thing because I really have like never experienced that like knowingly, and
And
ever
that was like the
since
next morning after you'd watched Vanilla
that
Sky.
was the morning that I watched it. So like the morning before. So I
Oh, the
just found
morning
it.
before. Oh, I see.
So the
Okay.
morning, and then I watched it at night. So it was super strange because
Wow. That's kind of freaky. So
it
like,
was, and
it
that's
was
probably
kind
why
of
I was
like
throwing
a
up.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's why you were throwing up, because like, wait a minute, like, I'm
Yeah.
just like seeing like
So
like film imitate life and kind of like I guess you kind of experience like a premonition of like what was going to be in the movie, which is bizarre.
Which is absolutely bizarre. And because here's the thing, I know for sure I've experienced something like that, but like I was
Yeah.
never really I was really able because it was something so blatantly obvious, like checking your phone. I actually have proof. I've never had anything like that. Like holy crap, like I mean, it was just like being in real life, so it was
Yeah.
so creepy that when I did that, and I had no idea that's even what Vanilla Sky was about, I could then go watch it, and I just was like, dude, I did that this morning.
Yeah.
If I was doing that for years
Yeah.
in this, like cats, like what a nightmare. So I was like almost able to like relate to just the whole lucid dream nightmare
Yeah.
part. It like as much as you possibly could that day.
Wow.
And
That's pretty, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And yeah, just for anyone that hasn't seen the movie and is like, not exactly sure what we're talking about, there are like multiple scenes in Vanilla Sky where you think like you're seeing like reality and then he like immediately like wakes up from it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But then on top of that, there's also this like long lucid dream that you just assume is like really happening, but it turns out to be just like this Matrix, slash Eternal Sunshine kind of thing that basically the Tom Cruise character had chosen for himself. Also, one other thing that we didn't even mention, another thing, just in terms of like adding even more confusing things to like all of this, is as if there aren't enough like different, changes in like, timeline and like dreams versus reality and all this stuff. There's also the whole thing where like when this lucid dream turns into a nightmare and like, you're not even sure whether this is like real or not. But basically this whole weird thing starts happening where all of a sudden, his life is good again. Like his face has been like reconstructed. He's with Penelope Cruz character Sophia, and like everything's good. But then all of a sudden, Sophia, the Penelope Cruz character,
oh
turns into like the Cameron Diaz character. It's like,
yeah,
all of a
that
sudden it's Cameron Diaz, and he's
so
like,
creepy.
what the f, you know what I mean? And she's like, no, I'm Sophia, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just like, is he like losing his mind? Like,
And she was like messing with him too, wasn't she? Like, and that's what I remember. She kept like
oh
there was
yeah,
just such a creepy I can't get it out of my
oh,
face look, and
Cameron
she's
Diaz, the
like,
faces she made, like
ooh.
she really did a great job of just kind of being this like demon character almost.
Yeah, she was like the perfect like crazy ex. She played that so
Yeah,
well. That
Rocker
face
X.
that
Yeah.
she made, like there was quite a few faces in that.
Oh yeah, there was like a close up, like I mean, like
And it
right
was
before like the murder scene. So it's like
oh
he thinks he's murdering the Cameron Diaz character, but then it turns out he actually, it really was the Penelope Cruz character, which he realizes like when he's like pulling the pillow back and he sees
yeah.
this like mole that like only Sophia had. So yeah, which was really heartbreaking to see. And then like he realizes like he killed the woman he loved, but like he was seeing the Cameron Diaz character.
And just to confirm, you said that was just all part of the lucid dream.
Yeah, that was all, and
Okay.
that never even happened. Yeah, he never even
Yep.
actually killed
I
anyone.
didn't even know that. I
That was
must
all
have
the
missed that
nightmare.
part. I must
Oh,
have
you
missed
didn't
that
realize that?
full part because I never got to connect
Yeah,
the murder to what the hell was
right.
real. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, it definitely sounds like it's a movie you should probably watch again. So yeah, if you ever do feel compelled to see it again, I would definitely love to hear what you thought of it on second viewing. I think it
yeah,
definitely would be interesting to compare and see like, did it grow on you, or did you still not like it, or somewhere in between. So
yeah.
yeah, let me know if you ever end up seeing it again.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting to do it like a month later too, because now, yeah,
Oh
again,
yeah, give it some time. Yeah, because 100%. Because I probably went like, I mean, I'm trying to
oh
remember back in the day, like
yeah,
when people bought DVDs, like how long did it usually take after like the movie was in
oh
theaters for it to come out on DVD? I want to say it was like what, like 9 to 12 months usually, something like that. So it was probably like almost a year before my first viewing and like the second time I saw it. And I think that was good because like I had a lot of time to think about it, and I don't even know why like it stuck in my mind so much, but I think there was some part of my subconscious that just realized like there's something more to this movie. Like there was some impression that it made on me that I knew that like
yeah,
there's more here to appreciate than I was able to appreciate the first time just because my head was
yeah.
spinning so much.
No, that's very real, and I was to say like talking about it a month later because you
Yeah.
get to the the parts that really stick out are the forefront of my mind, and then it's just interesting to for me at least to tell you like what really sticks out was the cats and all of
Yeah,
that and the Penelope Cruz the most whatever depressing or saddest girl with the
status
martini
girl little martini. Yeah,
the bridge crash. I mean I guess I'll name out like the things the elevator going up into it was like the freaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory elevator.
yeah.
Maybe that was inspiration for that like whatever it just
Oh
keeps
yeah, there
going
was
up
a lot of pop culture influence, which was definitely a big theme in the movie.
those whispers at the beginning. Oh my God, the faces, the Cameron Diaz look,
Oh yeah, and Tom Cruise is like all his weird faces, especially while his face was
yeah,
deformed, and then but also on the other side, like I think some like great facial acting
yeah.
when things were good between Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. So
Yeah.
a lot of acting done with facial expressions, and
You
I
know what?
think very effectively.
Here's my probably hot take on this. By the way, I I don't think I like Tom Cruise in that role. I can get it because it's Tom Cruise, and then you get to see him be from like okay, classic Tom Cruise, like
Right.
getting everything he wants, and then oh my God, there was just something about that him in that role, like it's that little laugh, and it just that era of Tom Cruise, I'm not even that familiar with, and especially in
Okay.
like that kind of role. I didn't like it. I think I think I would almost enjoy the performance if it was just like I don't know who else. It was
Jim
someone else.
Carrey.
Yeah, I think. Oh my God, get Jim Carrey, dude. So
That would have been interesting to see.
I think Jim Carrey. I think I would have liked that so much more.
Yeah.
It's not often where I say I think someone else would have been better for that role. I get it because hey, who knows if we would even know about what that movie was if it didn't have Tom Cruise. It had a still a really star cast anyways. I think that's one where I think there was probably better, in my opinion, a better casting for him.
Okay.
I just wasn't sold on his performance through a lot of the movie, honestly. I mean, I guess by the time he was like doing the cats thing, I'm like, okay, I don't
He
know.
won
I
you a
mean,
little over with that part, maybe, but yeah.
I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I think that's the part he probably did the best with because he was really good at being the biggest creep ever
Yeah.
and being really weird. And I took that whole scene for like this is the weirdest stalker creep ever, and he's not even trying to, which is the saddest.
Yeah.
That would probably be my one like negative note is like for sure is that I think it was well casted. I think I would have went a different direction. I would have liked to seen it
Right.
see it, and I don't think that very often. That does not
Okay.
come come to mind for me.
Yeah, I mean that thought had never entered my mind before. I feel like he did a really good job in it, and I can't even like imagine the movie with anyone else playing that role. But it's an interesting thought that I'd never really considered, and it would be fun to see like it played by a different actor and see like how different that would have feel, especially like a Jim Carrey
Oh,
type. I could definitely see Jim Carrey doing that
I
kind of
think
movie.
he would rock it, dude.
We've seen, The Truman Show, we've seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and all, both movies I would put with a lot of similar themes to Vanilla Sky. So
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey could certainly pull off that combination of
Oh.
like you both doing like the serious and the comedic.
See, I think that's the thing. I don't like again. I'm not familiar with the whole catalog from Jim. That's not the Jim Carrey or that's not the Tom Cruise that I know. And it was for me it was really weird seeing him in that role, and it felt forced, and it took a really long time to get used to.
Mm.
And there was something with that laugh. His little like I look Jim Carrey would have
I
nailed
mean,
that.
did his whole character feel forced, or only
A
the
lot.
part where he was like deformed and he was like basically?
No. I thought that part was
Oh,
like the most
the opposite,
convincing.
right? Okay.
I
Well, see,
think
that's weird because like you would think that the typical like Tom Cruise character, if you kind of think like, oh, he plays the same character in every movie, it's always kind of this like good-looking hotshot who's like overconfident, arrogant, and is like gets all the women.
yeah. You know what might be part of the problem as well is where they had Tom Cruise in there. That's a classic Tom Cruise role, and you're like, okay, he's playing him, the classic guy. Who's he gonna be this time? Oh, same guy. And here's the thing. You get the supporting character there, Jason Lee, going, "Oh my God, Tom, you get every woman. I want to be just like you." And he's doing whatever you were just saying, but he's saying it back to Tom. It just felt, something about it did not feel. I don't know. I wasn't too sold on it.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I guess that's just a good way to sum it up. Dude, Jim Carrey in that, holy crap! Especially seeing Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
He would have rocked that. He would have been. I mean, talk about facial expressions
Oh my
from
God! I mean, hey, I can't argue with that. I mean, Jim Carrey is amazing. Like, I think Jim Carrey would have done an amazing job as well. I'd love to see it, but
AI.
I do disagree. I do think Tom Cruise did a great job in the movie. So we can agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, AI maybe will maybe there'll be a
Okay,
good
hey,
use to see.
someday there you go.
Maybe
I'd love to
that's
see
already
that.
possible now. No, but
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, Kurt Russell is the name we couldn't think
Kurt
of.
Russell, yeah,
Kurt Russell plays the therapist that's in like the jail with the Tom Cruise character. So yeah, I think that pretty much like wraps it up. So yeah, definitely an interesting movie. Let us know if anyone out there watched it. So because like basically we announced like the movie of the week in like the league chat of the listener league. And for anyone that isn't in the listener league but still wants to participate in it, we always announce it on stream, usually after our review. So we'll have to pick our next movie. But also, if you want to be on the Film Club newsletter, just let me know what your email address is. Basically, just send me an email to dynastysavvy@gmail.com and just say I want to be on the Film Club newsletter, and I will include you on that. We don't spam anyone's inbox. I'll just send out an email, basically like every few weeks, and I'll let you know what the next like movie of the week is. I usually also include some links to like our previous reviews if you want, if you missed them, you want to catch up on them.
yeah,
And that's about it. So yeah,
yeah.
dynastysavvy@gmail.com. Send me an email if you want to be on the Film Club newsletter. But yeah, anyone can participate. So we just kind of thought this would be a fun thing to kind of bring everyone together through a shared experience. We could all watch the same movie and then talk about it.
Yeah, and that
So,
was a good one to watch because that was you're gonna get some mixed results on that one.
oh yeah, for sure.
And for as far as the next movie goes, okay, there's one you want to talk about a movie that's stuck with me since watching it. I believe you said you hadn't watched this one. This is
Yeah.
one I knew I should have watched long ago. I watched this actually right before Vanilla Sky, by the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm like mad at myself. I have not seen Whiplash before until recently, or like 1 month ago. That
Okay.
movie, I every single day, I'll be like thinking about it without even knowing. The music's stuck in my head. You talk about an awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
That is Whiplash. You want to talk
Okay.
about acting, about like kind of I don't know, like kind of an ambiguous. I mean, there was a lot where I was thinking of, and I need to rewatch it because I would love to do Whiplash. Basically, I don't want to
Okay.
give away
Hey,
anything.
if you want to make that officially our next movie here, like I'm down for it. And by the way, we still have 8 people in the 8 people watching us live right now. So like that's pretty cool. Like we weren't sure like how the film club would be received on a channel about Dynasty Fantasy Football, but hey, it's nice to see that it's not turning too many people away. You guys are sticking around for a review of some movie from like 25 years ago that like most of you have never seen. So like, hey, like kudos to you guys. I'm glad if you guys are enjoying this at all. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to mix it up with like a lot of like fun, interesting movie choices. So we definitely hope more people participate in Film Club.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't think we had any comments in the live chat during our review. I'm trying to catch up. But like in the future, like if you decide to participate and like watch the movie of the week, then when we review it, you can like give us your live feedback during our review in the live chat, and we can like respond to it. And we want everyone to kind of be part of the discussion. I mean, heck, I mean, even if you want to like join the Zoom call here and join the stream live and give us your takes that way, like we could even do that. So we're definitely
Yeah.
open to different things and just want to include everyone and have fun with it.
Hopefully, someone will do that for Whiplash. I'm sure people have seen it before, especially in the listener leagues. Someone, but dude, I will just go to say
Hey,
I was
I'm
so pleasantly surprised. I had high expectations going in. Normally, that's like not the most amazing thing. I was like, I mean, and I was so pleasantly surprised to see that there was no surprise why I liked it. It was
yeah.
Damien Chazelle that wrote and directed it. And
Okay.
every time, I don't know if I told you this, Dan, every time I've seen a Damien Chazelle movie with, I think it's Justin Hurwitz is the composer for the score, it has been like 10 out of 10 all 3 times now, because the other ones were La La Land. I had no idea when I went into that what I was getting, like that I would even enjoy that at all, and I loved it. And also, which has been like a kind of like a cult and really mixed reviews, similar to Vanilla Sky, was Babylon, which also absolutely loved that one. And that's like a more recent one with also a star-studded cast. So
Yeah, oh, I just wanted to ask you also, what did you think of the soundtrack in Vanilla Sky? Like, did that stand out to you at
that
all?
yeah, I know that did not. It's because I watched it a month ago, especially that nothing to me. Like I couldn't even tell you a single song that was on
Oh
there.
wow, okay, yeah, you definitely have to see it again then. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah,
Yeah,
you were saying about Babylon and the other movies, La La Land.
yeah. The compose is amazing. I had no idea, and that was probably the best part. I'm like, holy crap! Like this is like instantly one of my favorite movies,
Yeah,
and some of the best like performances I've ever seen. I don't want to hype it up too much because
sure.
again, everyone will take it differently. I did not expect to be just like crazy about a movie about like freaking jazz drumming. That's what it's about.
Amazing.
That's all
Yeah,
I'll even
I know
say.
nothing about the movie, but like, hey, like I'm sold. So, like, should we make it official? The next movie for Film Club, Whiplash.
100%.
All right,
And
let's do
don't
it. Lock
waste
it
any
in.
time
Whiplash
watching it.
is the next movie of the week for Film Club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watch it
so
tonight.
yeah,
Do what
we're
you gotta do.
basically on like a 2 week schedule during the season. So yeah, if you want to participate in Film Club for this movie, just watch Whiplash by, let's see, okay, so today is, well, essentially Wednesday night, the 24th. So yeah, watch Whiplash before the evening of Wednesday, October 8th. So you got 2 weeks to watch it. So if anyone wants to participate, just watch Whiplash, however you can watch it. Yeah, we a free website where you can just like stream movies is fmovies.llc, I
Yeah,
believe.
fmovies.llc.
You just have to like close a few pop-up windows and pop-up tabs, but it'll eventually like work. So yeah, just watch Whiplash by October 8th or before then. And yeah, we will do our review on October 8th, and we will continue the film club, which has been so much fun.
Yeah, super excited to talk about that one. And you want to talk about, yeah, like, I mean, hey, I think I'm converted. I like freaking jazz. I don't forget what they even call it. Like, uh, yeah, I forget what even the term was. Something jazz.
Okay.
I'm in. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm listening to these songs every day. Like these are
Oh wow.
freaking bangers. So
I mean, sometimes a movie, like, I mean, that's what Vanilla Sky was for
yeah,
me. I mean, the soundtrack was, I mean, to me, just so phenomenal. Like I said, my favorite movie
I can
soundtrack
100%
of all
understand.
time. Like that, I mean, I was young when I first saw the movie, and like I swear that like formed my taste in music. I just love
No,
like
yeah.
every song in that soundtrack. They just like some of the artists, like whether it was like Radiohead or Jeff Buckley, Red House Painters, like those just became like some of my favorite artists, and like still are.
Yeah, I can 100% relate because from other films as well. Like actually, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, like literally, that's now 3 movies where I've like binge listened to like the soundtrack from like La La Land and also like the Babylon one. It is so well done and same with this. Especially when you watch the movie and you kind of relate it to something, you have like a deeper understanding, especially in Whiplash. That'll give you'll be well versed with the songs that like there's just more than it's just like more than a song. You know, you have this deeper understanding
Yeah.
of the music, and
Oh,
it
totally.
makes for exactly like you were saying with uh, Vanilla Sky. You did, yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. And I do
definitely
think,
it.
I mean, I think music is like really like an underrated thing in movies, and also even just like movies about music. Like I know we both saw the Bob Dylan movie, Complete Unknown, and we both really love that. So yeah, I mean, I'm hugely passionate about music. I mean, it's not something that I think we have talked about a lot, but I love music. So yeah, I mean, I'm not like specifically like into jazz, but like I'm open minded to just about anything. So
Yeah,
yeah, it sounds like a cool movie to me.
yeah. So super pumped with that. Yeah, we could probably call it a stream.
Yeah, is there anything we need to catch up on in the chat before? It looks like there was a little more football chatter. Do we want to try to catch up on that, or should we just call it a night here?
I was answering to Nahal. He was talking about
Okay.
just Brees Hall trade. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter as well. Actually, now that you say that, that you might have got baited by Twitter if you're still here, Nahal. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean they're like not real rumors yet, from what I understand, because it was like a fake. It was one of those kind of spreading rumors accounts. There's like quite a few of them on Twitter. One of them is literally called NFL Rumors. It has zero credibility, but the thing is like I think there is. It's such an obvious potential trade, anyways. That I like. There really doesn't need to be a rumor at this point for me to kind of be buying in. And yeah, hey, if you can get Braylon Allen for free in redraft or something, or get him in a trade as a throw-in, not a bad idea. Actually, I have him on a couple benches, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up then. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Great seeing so many people in the chat, so many returning viewers and subscribers. Appreciate all the support. If you'd like to support us, best thing you can do is just make sure you're subscribed. If you already are subscribed, drop us a like, leave us a comment after the stream. And yeah, watch Whiplash by October 8th if you want to participate in Film Club. We will continue doing that. And yeah, we might even stream tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a little start-sit stream before the Thursday night football game. No promises, but we'll see if we can make it happen. So
Yeah.
either way, we will see you guys soon.